Hello, I just had to unmute myself. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, it's Saturday, fantastic. I'm just getting stuff set up, so I hope you can join me while I do that. I thought might as well share that, because that's kind of like a real behind the scenes part of the show, isn't it, when I set things up. It's a little bit early then for some of you than normal, but for me it's the same time, because we don't adhere to daylight savings. I'm speaking to you guys every week, I know, but sing out and chat if you're someone that has daylight savings and you've had to get up earlier, or you've had to watch the show an hour earlier. Don't worry, because the actual main show on at the normal time of 2 p.m. in the UK. I'm not in the UK, if you're wondering. I'm actually in Australia. And as I say down in Australia, g'day. Yep, that's me. And big hello to you for wherever you are in the world. It's actually really amazing that the technology we have these days, we can reach people's computers and phones and living rooms and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, stop yapping. This in. We're going to set up the, what are we going to set up? I thought we'd set up the polyend tracker anyway. Okay, so I can show you what's going on. I think maybe we change cameras here. Is the black magic not working? Try resetting it. Okay, it's working, but it's black. The black magic is being its name, black. It's a black. Let's see if we change to that. There we go, you got it back of me. All right, what are we going to do? We'll go down. Whee, boom. There's the polyend. So what I want to do with this thing, so we'll muck around with it. I don't even know if we're even going to get anywhere, but hey, that's what this thing's about. So we need to come out of that and we need to go into it. So I've got this. This is a tip and. So I don't know if we're going to use that coming out of it, and sorry, going into it, and we'll do the Eurorack business for that. Where's the out? The output we need to go into. This is going to make do this, but anyway, bugger it. That one, we'll take it out of there. We don't need that. So I'm just going to go into the ADAT input here on the Behringer. Sorry about the scratchy noises. That's probably the microphone up against my clothing as I bend over. All right, so we've got that going. And then is somehow we want to get, we probably want to bring the polyend a bit closer. I probably could, oh, excuse me, probably could make it come a bit closer to me here actually. What we want to do is we want to bring it some sort of output from here. That would be pretty cool. What about the output of the mixer here? And I don't really know if that's going to play ball, but let's try it anyway. So that output of the mixer, output, that should be going into there. Those two from there, and I bring them, let's see, trying to show you guys while I'm doing it at the same time. It's making things. Okay, so we've got left is that colour. I don't know if this is going to work, but okay, that seems to be okay. I think we probably need to check it to see if it's working. Oops. Check it, baby. Right, come to me. Come to me, my sweet thing. I'm going to have my back to you. Sorry, guys. File. Okay, what do we want to do? We want to open a project. Let's just pick something. Let's go with. Let's go with Data Line. He's a pretty cool guy. Let's save that. Loading a project. D. So this must be a big sucker, this one. It's taking a while. Okay, is it done? If we go to song, yes, we have some data here. All right, put that in. And we'll just see if we can get some audio happening from there. The next thing I've got to do, by the way, is I've got to get this thing working, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. Let's just play. Oh, I can hear sound. Now, is it just me? Okay, let's try something out over on the Macintosh. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can hear something, and that's a start. It's weird. It's very weird sounding. Maybe we should load something different. Let's try a different pattern. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can work out what's happening with the MIDI. I think this might be set to external. Yeah, it is. Okay. We need to change that to MIDI in jack. All right, let's just change it to internal for now, see if that fixes the problem. Let's try now. There you go. Let's put that down for a sec. It's very quiet though, isn't it? To perform. Master. There we go. Let's go back to song and play. Right, so we got that working. You guys. Let us know if you can hear that. Cool. All right, so we've got the polyend tracker going. Now the next thing I guess we need to do is we need to try and work out how to sample into that and stuff like that. So the next thing I'll probably want to do first is go to here, make you guys see what I'm doing at the same time. So on the right hand side, right, oh, not that far, is Pam's, in amongst all the mess there. Hi Pam's, say hi Pam's. That there, well you can't see because that's in the way, is down the bottom, there's a MIDI out, it's in the way. Can you see that? You can't see it, it's probably just in the way of that cable. If I unplug that, there you go, you can see it now, MIDI out there. So, we need to get a MIDI out cable. And now this thing is TRS on the back. So I'm just wondering whether we can just do TRS to TRS. I can't remember if the polyend tracker is TRS type A for the MIDI. So that's going to be a trick, I think. Try and work that out. Because we want Pam's to control the tempo on this baby. Pam's to control the tempo is so that when I start sequencing some of the samples, it will all sort of fit nicely to the whole thing. So the tempo of the Eurorack setup, sequences in there, will be the same as the poly. Right, all right, so that's kind of, as they say, that's the plan, Jan. But let's say g'day to you guys in chat. Nice to see everyone turning up early. Synth Geekery. What do you guys think of this idea? Sort of a bit of Eurorack and a bit of sampling. We don't have to do Eurorack. We could do something else. But I just kind of figure a lot of you probably are into more funky ways to do things. Normally what I would be doing here would be I'd kind of be sort of getting the Eurorack into the Akai Force and creating clips. I kind of wanted to see, warts and all, because this has never been done before by me, to see how much workflow, you know, skullduggery we need to do to get into this polyend tracker. Excuse all the mess down here. It's been a busy week, and I've just been sort of moving crap everywhere. I haven't not even started the cabling organising in here yet. In fact, it's kind of cool that I haven't, because quite worked out yet where things are going to go, especially the synths behind me. I kind of want to sort of, I'm thinking about tiering like a few, maybe 3 or 4 levels of synths across the back and storage. And I kind of want to put them out as well. I've got some Yamaha synths that you guys have seen before, and Sonic ESQ1. That baby needs to come out and purr in public again. I think sounds amazing. Seriously, like completely screechingly low bitrate digital oscillators with beautifully warm analog filters and an analog VCR. It's the marriage, mate. It's absolutely incredible. Probably a little bit jealous that I didn't have the SQ80 because that's got the polyphonic aftertouch. But yeah, that would have been nice. Anyway, so that's kind of there. Bring back you guys. All right, so I haven't actually touched my Eurorack since the last show, so I wouldn't be surprised if this has all still got the same back into it as last week, which we were doing last week or the week before. We were doing kind of, I don't know, some weird mixer, some mixer stuff. I need to set up little memories of these camera locations, don't I? So that I can quickly just press a button. So let's do that. So that's create an input there. Done. I can do this with my mouse too. I don't have to use the remote control because it uses this thing called Sony Visca, which is it's a PTZ protocol thing that you can do over IP. So the actual PTZ camera itself that I've got here is not going down anymore. Oh, I should probably angle that down a bit more, I think. There you go, look at the floor. Yes. All right. Yeah, that's better. We don't need to go so high, we can go lower. Zoom in more. Yeah, that's much nicer. Is that looking good for you guys? Is that clear enough? I think that's clear enough. So we'll create an input for that. That's the polyend tracker. Right. Done. Done. Done, chaps. All right, now we need to look at the mixer. There's the mixer there. So we're going to use that mixer again. That's, if you're wondering what that is, if you're new to this place, it's a new mixer, that one. It's modeled after the Boss BX8, I think it is. And it's called a BX mix by Future Modules. Feedback modules, sorry, what am I saying? These guys. Feedback modules. Give them a plug. No, I didn't get anything for free from them. And I will always let you guys know if I do get stuff for free. The only thing I've ever got for free is the Behringer brains, which is sitting over here. So I've always told you guys that. Anyway, let's get the camera on When I say it wasn't for free, I had to spend hours shooting a video. It took me a whole month to shoot that video. Not like a whole month as in full-time work, but it took me a month, over a span of a month to do that. All right, and we'll look at probably just that whole rack as an option, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably move the camera to other things. Yeah, probably the Metropolis is probably important. Move it up a little bit. Create an input there. All right, let's just try the inputs out so we can go back, forward, back, forward. All right, so we should be able to go to PAMs. Oh, see now, buggered up PAMs, hasn't it? Because, nice advertising for feedback modules there. It's buggered up PAMs because I moved the camera, didn't I? Stupid me. So now I need to go, I just literally just do that. It should go back to PAMs at some weird point in time. There we go. Let's just update that. Right, now, did I bugger everything else up? Let's go back to PAMs. Oh, I love it when things work. Hey, and we should have the mixer, and we should have the whole skiff there, and a bit of... Oh, it's a thing of beauty. We could move it around. Look at that. Beautiful. Right. Boom. Good to see a few of you guys in chat. Let's do it because we're kind of early and you guys are here. There's 20 odd people here. So it's a nice group. It's a nice group. Let's put my ugly mug up the top so I can talk to you at the same time. Good to see Andy was first with the gong. He can wear the yellow jacket this week. Andy, that synth addict. IP said hello and goodbye very quickly, so you won't see him, inverted popes. He's come in to say that he can't be in today and he's wishing a good day. Paul Torbot's there. Future World Machines, nice to see you. Gentlemen, Wagoo came in. Good day, mateys, he says. Martin Taylor, good to see him with a normal nick this week. Now I've said that, he'll go and change it. Eddie's there, F Rose, or shall I say Froze? That probably isn't a good thing for you at the moment, is it, Eddie? Because you're playing around with videos at the moment. Don't want to be freezing anything right now. Who else we got? We got Teo Sophie Music. Greetings all. Daniela's there, nice to see Daniela. Europe, fantastic. Human Errors there. Yeah, having a good old chat to each other. Fine art. No, sorry, fire art. Sorry, I've got my glasses on. It's a bit, me glasses. I need to wipe them, I think. It's a bit blurry. Other than that, I need to see the obstetrician again. Fire Ant is what I meant to say. Big hello to you. Where are we? Saw Kent before. I said big hello to Kent. This is Ranzee is back. Good to see you back, mate. Haven't seen you for a little while. Stephen's there, who's Mac. Good to see you, Mac. For you. Sensian's there. Who else? Who else? Indeed. Sim. Mashing up drum breaks, please, on tracker. Well, I think you got wishful thinking there, mate. I'm absolutely... So we'll see, we'll see. Simon Fenn's there. Neil Wharton's there. Hello, everyone, he says. Big hello to Neil. Who else? We've got some new people. We've got VE Sound. France is here. France, parlez-vous français? Oui, très bien. Fantastique. Fantastique. Je m'appelle Ranzee. I don't really know. I do apologise. I try. What else? QRDNK, it's good to see you. Dark Joint, hello. Put some lights on in your dark joint. Either that or it's an interesting habit you've got. Brilliant. Right. Germany says hi. Good, fantastic. We've got Germany, we've got France. we've got a bit of America, we've got some Australians, and we've got the UK. We're all over the shop here, aren't we? This is awesome. Wonder if we've got anyone from somewhere weird. And when I say weird, I don't mean weird. I mean kind of not so common, like the Maldives or I don't know. Sometimes we get people from South America. It's a bit early in the morning though for that part of the world. Wishful thinking, hey. What do we got? Go back to here. Turn off my ugly mug. Let's get stuck into some sounds. Right, MIDI was first, wasn't it? So we do need to find. God help me if I can't find it. Try our luck with a TRS cable. Or, no, because if I don't do a TRS cable, I'm not going to be able to find the two DIN to TRS adapters. So we are going to have to use a TRS. Yeah. Okay, so if you're wondering what I'm talking about, on the back of the poly end, everything is all 3.5mm TRS connectors. And I actually haven't tried some of this stuff out yet. And right here in this box next to me is a massive jungle mess of audio cables ranging from everything that you could possibly imagine, including a pink TRS cable, which looks like it's buggered. So we won't use that. That should go off to Kent's house, where everything's buggered. Just kidding, Kent. No, not that one. That was what I found, the pink one, if you're wondering. Doesn't look too healthy at the end. If you look closely. I should have prepared this earlier. Earlier today, I was at a fate thing with the kids. So it's a bit hard to prepare when you're at fates. Oh no, I don't know if I'm going to find one of these TRS cables in a hurry. You know when you're in a hurry, you want to find something, you never find it? What is with that? This is making a hell of a lot of noise for you guys too, isn't it? What is with it when you're in a hurry, trying to find something, and you can never find it? It's just like, it's basically just mocking us. The world is mocking us and saying, you're not going to find it. I did find a different splitter that come in handy. That may come in handy if we need it. And this is a TRS cable, but it's way too short. So that's not. So, God help us there. A bag. I've got so many mono TS cables, 3.5mm. When you need a TRS, I've got a TRS to. I can't win. I've got a TRS to 1/4 inch. Those actually. It's in this box. No. Oh God. I'm not going to find it, am I? Am I going to find it, guys? I think you guys have just had enough. Go do something. I'm not watching this crap. We might have to do the MIDI DIN trick, which is what I wasn't wanting to do. That's not going to work well, I don't think. And it definitely doesn't work on a TRS to TRS. No, it doesn't do that. Okay, I found something. We might be in luck. It was right down the bottom. Oh, yes. We've got a couple of options here. No, we don't. We have one option. Wow. I thought I had a lot more of these cables, but obviously I am wrong. Okay. Let's get rid of this crap out the way. This is what I found. I'm hoping that it works. It looks like one of those cheap cables that you buy when you're in a hurry somewhere, and you've probably used it for like your phone or something in the old days. Nowadays, we can't have cables going into phones except for dongles. So we want, and let's see, MIDI out to there. And we'll go config, change that to MIDI. All right, now if everything works, cross your fingers, guys, this should start playing. No. Oh, that is annoying. MIDI out to MIDI in. Yeah. Either that or the cable's not working. That is extremely annoying. It's the same. I think the pink one's buggered. We won't even touch the pink one. All right, DIN plug. Oh God. What's another way we could do it? Have like a sync on the back of it? No. Bugger. That's really, really annoying. I do have a cable somewhere, but it just isn't going to play ball. Management lessons here. They're all tied up neatly. You saw it. They're all tied up neatly. They're just in a massive big box. Where all the big thick ones are on top. The ones that we usually use. That's the story here. What we usually use are these bigger type cables. I don't know. I've lost my camera. Where am I? Here. There's plenty of the bigger type ones, and yeah, there's a whole box of them. But yeah, when you want a small one, it's no good. Right. I could use USB as a way to sync, but that would mean then I'd have to get the USB into the Mac. I don't want to do that. That's going to be too much. That's going to be even worse stuff. Why don't we just do it without syncing it? I think that's probably going to be our best bet. All right. The next thing I need to check is if we can actually get audio into this thing. So let's try that. Okay. So we're going to do a new project. Has it done that? Yep, cool. Sample recorder. And we're going to do line in. Yep. Now we're going to see if we've got some sort of sound coming into this thing. Let's try. Wow, I actually wasn't expecting that to work. Okay. All right, so if we don't want to sample, we want to sample that without any effects. Okay, tempo on this is 127. All right, let's press record. Okay, that'll do for that sound. I want to change that sound a bit actually. You can gain this stuff, right? Okay, let's just play with this for a sec. So now we've got sample playback. No. We need to, we'll just save it. I don't want to call it that, but that'll do. Go to sample playback. And I think you have to load it. So you have to go File, Open. Oh, sorry, what am I doing? Sample loader, there. I wonder if it's put it, I wonder where it's put it. So it's either put it there. Yeah, no, it's not put it there. Recordings, there. I'm going to add that to our queue. There we go. Now we should see it. So sample playback. Here we go. All right, this is where we can start playing around with this. Okay. Okay, let's wavetable this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we can get kind of different sounds from that. I like that. And that's just coming from this weird thing here. Let's get a different sound coming out of that. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, let's grab that. This is fun. We'll just keep accepting these basic sounds. Sample loader. And we'll add that. No. So we want to add that. Add next. That's what we want to do. And it should put it. No. Why are you being like that? Why are you doing this to me? There. Add next. It should. No. You're an idiot. Add. What is it doing that for me? That's where I want that one. And that's where I want that one. Okay, that'll do. Who cares? Right. Which one are we on? All right, let's try this one. Yeah, that's where we were before, and we changed that to We had it as wavetable, so let's do granular. So we want the position to be probably one of these waveforms here in the middle. Length. Yeah, that's cool. Some different sounds out of the Euro. All right, let's try a bit of more synthy sort of stuff. Good thing about having this mixer here is, okay, we're good to go. Let's go to the mixer. So all I'm doing here is I'm just muting things on the front of the mixer. So that was there. Now we should have some sort of flangery sounding thing. Now that actual hissy sound is actually coming out of the Roland System 500 module, so I actually want it to be there. It's part of the analog charm. All right, let's try. 1, 2, 3, go. Right, that's some sort of reasonable beat there. Okay, now we need to save that. We'll just accept the defaults because this is just mucking around. And we want to add that last one in. And play. Yeah, this is good. All right, probably this to be a loop. And we need to get the loop right on this. So that's where you muck around with this play mode here, right? So we want it to be a forward loop, backward loop, ping pong loop, forward loop. Let's just keep it to the basics. All right, let's try this out now. It's a pretty good guess, wasn't it, recording it? It's probably slightly out. It's fun. Everything just samples down. This is what you would expect on like an old-fashioned sampler, but you can get it to change that sort of stuff as well. All right, so I'm actually happy with that. Just have some basic drum beats. Now don't forget, I don't have to in here with my sample loading. I don't actually have to use everything I'm recording. I can go in and into the SD card and grab drum beats and stuff like that out of, or I could actually record them. Like for example, there should be one here. Is it here? No, this one. Oh, I don't like that drum beat because it sounds very old. So let's change it. See what we got here. So that's kind of, let's change that a bit. Take a bit of the decay off of that. So I can just, by the way, that is just a sample. So I'm actually sampling a sample, but let's do that. So we only need one. So we'll save that. Don't worry, we'll all these things. Now the other thing I can do with this is I can change this to the different output. So let's trigger the other output. Like a hi-hat sort of output. Go back to the start. No. Okay, let's play with that one. No, not that one. That one. Okay, what can we... Let's do that, and then... Okay, let's record that. Very, very simple. Okay, so now we'll go to the sample loader and put a new spot there, and then add the kick, new spot there, then add, I'm getting used to the interface now, starting to work. All right, let's see if this is the hi-hat. So all we need to do with this is change the start and the end. I'll move my hand out of the way so you guys can see. And then I can zoom in. See that? So we can now come in a bit closer. Yeah, cool. Now that I've done that, that's fine. That's just a one shot. So go back to sample load and we'll go up to this one. This is the kick. We're going to do the same thing. Start. Oops. We'll just bring it slightly to the left of it and then slightly to the right. And then we'll zoom. Okay. Probably need to zoom in a bit more. Oh, what's going on there? Zoom. There we go, just get slightly better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, cool. All right. So that's all in. We've got sample editor and all that sort of stuff. So the sample editor is where you actually manage. So you go into the sample loader and you adjust all these. Like for example, that first one, you can go into the sample editor and we can normalize it, crop it. We can reverse it. So let's go down here. So let's try reversing it, see what happens. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. And there's a whole bunch of other things in there like fading in and stretch, WT smoother, compressor, limiter, equalizer, flanger, chorus, bit crusher, delay, and you can normalize it and all that sort of stuff as well. And that's actually pretty cool, the reverse effect. All right, back on that. So wavetable. So we're good with that. Sample load, go across, down, playback. That was granular. So that's fine. Okay. Break from this because we've actually succeeded in a little minor way here. See what you guys are talking about. Right. We are getting nerdy today. So yeah, okay. So what are we looking at? Is probably a good question for some of you guys. It is a tracker style sequencer, which is a linear-based sequencer that works on samples, and it's a different way to sequence your music. I kind of like the trackers work because once we've got a few sounds in it, which I don't even have to do what I was doing before, we can then start looking at putting them into tracks and playing around, which we'll do in a sec. So yeah, what I wanted to do today though was I just kind of really wanted to see how hard it is to go from Eurorack into it. The only challenge I've had so far is the TRS cable, but that's just a technical thing that I just need an adapter to muck around with, and I just can't find it off the top of my head. But I actually think that was relative in the sense that I didn't have to record that somewhere else and then bring it in, which I could have done. I could have recorded it into my DAW, brought it in, mangled all the effects, and edited them all there and everything. But I actually like the big screen. Just to give you guys an idea of how big that screen is, I'll just put a pencil on it. It's a pretty decent sized screen. So when you're playing around with samples, you're not sort of squinting and getting a magnifying glass out. And I think that's a really, really big thing. Maybe that's why I like it, because the screen on it is really good. It does take me a little while to get around the interface, but once I'm using it sort of more regularly, I find that it's actually not too bad. There are a few trackers out there. We were talking about one in Discord the other day. I should plug Discord. If you haven't actually ever played with Discord before, you should check it out. So there's my Discord server address if you guys are looking to join us. It's free. Discord is a free app. Just bit.ly/Ranzee Discord, and you can join. Right. We do continue the chat during the week in Discord. So yeah, I've noticed that we have a Daren who's arrived, so we should probably welcome him in. You working? Everything's working for you?
I hope so.
Yeah, I can hear you. How you been, mate? Good?
Yeah, not bad. Are you? I've just put in the chat whether is your mic cutting out every so often, or is it me?
Is my mic? I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. I've just asked in the chat if it's anyone else is picking up. Just every so often, it just like cuts out for about, I don't know, less than a second.
Oh.
You chop about a word or two off. But I don't know if it's just.
Oh, that could be internet related. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, which would mean that the whole audio would drop out. No, it looks like Sentien's saying the same thing.
Ah, right. So it's not my earbud then. I thought my earbud might have been battery might have been low, but it's not.
Why would it be cutting out though? It shouldn't be cutting out. I mean, maybe it might be because I'm leaning and playing with the polyend and stuff. Or is it? Are you guys hearing any sort of echoes or anything like that?
No, it's just like a literal dropout, just as though you'd switched it on and off again.
Wonder what it's causing. Don't know.
But it's quite random.
So I have been playing around on the master on this, and I added some plugins. So why don't I take this plugin out? There.
It's like you're just dropping below the level of a gate and it's cutting you out.
Yeah, I've just taken this plugin out. I actually put in. I reckon it's the plugin. There's a plugin from Waves called WLM, W for whiskey, L for Lima, M for Mike, plus stereo. Is it shows you the luffs. That, by the way, is Andy. If you can, that's this guy here. That's the noise from him. That's not your.
Being noisy.
That is not that we're hearing there, mate. That's the other one. So you might want to fix that.
Oh, you're still cutting out.
Yeah, right.
I'm still cutting out, am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I say, it's literally glitch it out as though I'm trying to.
Wow.
Just as though you've just. But it's random. It's not like it's doing it constantly. I just noticed.
Yeah.
I missed the word off.
It's not showing up here. I was coming through the master. What could it be? Let me just check my host mic plugins. Yeah, let's take off voice centric. Let's just get rid of them. Try it now. Is it just let me know if it's cutting in and out. Hello. Yeah, that sounds better for you.
Oh, sorry, you're testing yourself there, Ron. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you do sound better though.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
What the friggin' hell is it? What the friggin'?
It's not doing it at the moment. You might have solved it.
Okay, it's not doing it. All right. I reckon it might be these plugins. No. Just let me know if it does it again. Batteries are fully charged, peoples. Yes, I do have a backup mic if we need it. You can also use camera mics.
Yeah,
All
the
that
only
sort of
thing
stuff.
about wireless, isn't it?
Yeah, it could. I don't think it is. It's the plugins, because that was the thing that I was mucking around with.
Well, you've just done it again, so
right.
you went, I don't think it is, and then I couldn't hear what you said, and then it come back with the plugins.
We can't have that. We can't have that. These should just be pretty straightforward. These things. What else could it be? Plugins are.
I mean, luckily it's just every so often, and it's only like a word that it's cutting out, so it's not as if we couldn't survive with it. No, it's not like it's dropping out every 5 seconds.
I'll take my noise off. I would put my old noise on.
Wagyu says he doesn't think it's the plugins.
He doesn't.
Wait a minute. Hang about. Where's Rave Dave? He's not popped over there, has he?
Oh, mate.
He'll be pulling at your wires.
I'll just kick under the desk a few times, see if that fixes it. No, where is my denoise, voice denoise? I'll put that one on, because that's what I usually use. Okay, that's back on. Tell me if it does it again. I've turned all the plugins off. Plugins are off. Yeah, cool. Tell me if it does it again. If it does it again, we'll start smashing things. We'll get the sledgehammer and we'll just start smashing things.
Well, he seems to be fine at the moment.
Okay. Usually it's to do with computers when you hear glitches like that. Bugger. I was getting into this. I was getting into the polyend tracker, guys. Cool. Yeah, because the next stage we were up to would be, to go into a pattern editor, which will be here, and start mucking around with that, which is Andy's favourite part. He loves pattern editing. He also likes watching wallpaper fade. This is what he told me. And old lady snit down at the local bingo hall. No.
How the hell am I supposed to respond to that?
Andy. I'm innocent. I do not know. I will just go off to my park bench.
No, Andy, you were rubbishing the polyend tracker about the. I
wasn't rubbishing anything.
The pattern editor.
Was I?
Yeah, you were.
Oh no, no, not the pattern. No, it's all that lists of numbers that I look at these things. I mean, I was having a look at watching reviews of the nerd sequencer, and I was having a look at that. I thought, because so many people are going on about how brilliant it is, and I just looked at it and thought, I'll just fry my brain in seconds.
That's exactly what you said.
No,
you were there too.
I'm sort of with you, Andy. I mean, I've used a tracker when I think it was Octamed. I think it was, wasn't it? Amiga.
Yeah, those. Yeah. Never
and I
understood
didn't
the point
mind it
of
at the time, but it's been that long.
That was for Robbie. He's probably gonna. It's gonna create a meme now. I can see it happening. Oh my god! Right.
We'll get on it for next week.
We will. Okay, so the next part of this would be to just to fluff around and bring some sounds in. The sounds that we've already got. That would be the next part. But that's not really what I was trying to do today. I was trying to work out, like, how hard is it to go through the recorder, right? And just bring just some basic sort of, sounds in here, and then use the actual tracker itself to mangle them. Use it to mangle them, which I've already done. I've mangled with wavetable and granular and reversed, and yeah, it's really, really, really quite easy. I'm actually quite happy with it. I'm also happy that these cables worked. I'm not happy about the MIDI cable, but that just means that the MIDI cable is the opposite polarity to what's actually wired in there, because TRS type A, TRS type B, MIDI, the MIDI formats for the TRS, and we just need to switch it over. I actually have one somewhere. I just don't know where it is at the moment. All right, someone's sending me messages.
It's Robbie.
Okay, it's Robbie.
No, that's funny that one again. Hey.
He wants. Okay. All right. I'm going to share this with you. Save image. Hang on a sec, guys. You guys must know that we are all connected in some stupid way here in this wonderful world, and to the point where during the middle of live streams, things like this happen. God. Oh my God. The caption that Robbie said in this is this week's edition of an Aussie on an Aussie.
Yep.
So very, very good.
One of them's very beautiful.
Yes. And one of them is wrecking a laptop screen. Yeah, fantastic. We don't have any more guests coming on, so I might just fix up that bottom left-hand corner with the chatties. No, that's okay. Yeah. They're allowed. Could have if I wanted to, but I said, no, bugger your rule. No. We'll put the chatties in there. Chatties deserve to be in there every now and then. Okay, so... Oh, yes. Okay, so this week, we're about a few minutes away from starting the main show. This week, not so big on the news, but the news this week is going to be kind of different. It's not so much product news. There's just kind of some cool things happening. Cool news, but synth related or music related or something. A long bow stretched along that sort of regime. And funny side should be worthwhile. And also we should have some interesting takes on our price watch section. And also, you have to be patient, but this week we have Name That Synth, and the submission of Name That Synth has come in from Daren, this guy. I can't even point. It's weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how serious Robbie is, but he's just said I can do a live guest spot with the CMI in my garage. If he can jump in, that would be cool.
You can come in. I need to send him some credentials though. Yeah, he can come in. I don't know how good it's going to sound in the garage. Give me a sec. Let me get him some credentials. If he's still got the same credentials as last time, he could use those, but if he doesn't, I can just send them to him again. What are you coming in on, Daren? You're coming in on that one, so Robbie can come in on this one. Okay, cool. All right, I'll message Robbie privately so he doesn't go into that. Where is he? Robbie. Where are you, Robbie? This is the pre-show, people, so... All right, here we go. So... Actually... It should still be in his chat history if he looks, but I'll just type it again. Sorry, guys. I've got to deal with this, and then we can get back to running a show. You guys can have Robbie on. There you go. And while he's got that, it's in your Facebook Messenger private one, not the group one, the private one. While I've got that, I need to probably give him a title. Done. Okay, whenever he's in, I'll see him, and why don't we just pop him in here, just 3. That should just work. So if he can come in, he's in. Right, sorted. Okay. Yeah, so that's a nice bonus for you guys. All right, let's go back to chatties. Okay. Has my microphone stopped cutting out now?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah, it seems to have, yeah.
Okay, definitely plugin related then. Definitely plugin related. So I shouldn't have played with the plugins. Now, what was I doing before I got distracted? See, as much more people come I'm looking at the graph, right? That we look at YouTube when we stream. There's a graph of how many people join, and it's going from like this, going off the end of the chart. The reason for it is because we advertise the show starting at 2 o'clock, and people do know that I start a little bit earlier for the pre-show, so you'll start noticing a lot more people coming in now. But I think I'm actually enjoying doing that sort of early segment where I'm just sort of flapping about with a synth or two. I reckon that's good fun. I like doing that. You know, we don't really get a long way into things, but I don't know. I think I need to stick to one thing and just keep doing it each week, I think. I think we'll keep going with the poly end. I think the next thing I want to do is kind of get a bit more sort of comfortable with that sort of setup, and then see what we can do in terms of making an actual track, and then making a song from there too. I don't think it's too hard. I don't think we're that far away. We just got to work out what sounds we want, and I think we'll do that as an interactive thing. So we've got different synths, we've got different percussions. Now, speaking of Eurorack, I've got some cool news coming. I have got 2 modules coming in. They're both secondhand, and I'm actually really excited about them. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. Now, let me see if I can find if I actually did keep. Yes, I did keep a copy of one of them. One of them is actually a prototype. So this is not my hand. This is actually the guy that's selling it to me's hand.
Ooh.
This is a VCA matrix, and this is a prototype. Can't really tell you a lot about it, other than what the guys told me, but I can give you a little bit of a rundown. Let's grab his. Where are we? Okay, so it's from a company called Unruhe, Unruhe.
Unruhe. It's a German word. It means disturbance, or lack of peace. Ruhe is peace, so Unruhe is like a disturbance.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Unruhe modular. Now this is actually a rare prototype, and they were happy to part with, to give to me. I had to pay for it, of course. So that's that one. That's coming in the next, well, that should be here probably by the next show next week, so we'll have a play with that. And another one that I've got coming is along the same sort of line, and that is by a company called 4MS. And you're probably going to wonder what the hell I'm getting from 4MS. Well, I'm going to be getting the VCA matrix from them. That's been around for a long time. So I'm going to get 2 VCA matrices, if you want to type correctly. Let me just get you an image of that while we're doing it. Just give me a second. And the 4MS one is quite famous looking, and it's this one. And people call it the VCAM for short. Now this module's been around for a while, like I would say 2010, 2011, somewhere like that. It's been around for a long time. The interesting thing about this module is that nobody has actually come up with something like as a competitor to this. When you look at all the features this thing's got, so this thing's got 4 inputs, 4 outputs, and then the matrice of the 4 outputs, plus it's got level control and mutes. If you combine all those features together, there isn't anything that has anything with that sort of setup. The other thing too, I believe the way the VCAs work, so you can have exponential and linear type VCAs. So I'm not really sure if I've actually read anything in the 4MS, but they talk about, this is kind of a little bit above my head. So some of the Eurorack stuff does get above my head. I'm sure it does get above your head, but let me just tell you the basic features, right? So with the 4 CV inputs that you can see on the top left, they can be both CV and audio. So you don't have to use this as literally a voltage, switcher. You can actually run your sound through this, and then once you run your sound through it, this is one of the reasons why I got it, is that you can pipe, say for example, a bass line, and you can pipe it into like a repeating delay effect, or you could pipe it into a different effect, and then you can actually blend them with the levels. That is something, it's like a mixer. It's something really, really cool. But because they're buffered and DC coupled, you don't lose any signal strength on each of the outputs, which is massive. And that's a really important part of it. So they do 0 to 20K on range for both control and signaled inputs, and it also allows you to do FM effects with that. So you can use these as VCAs, you can use this as a mixer, you can use this as a DC buffer, like a patcher. So many things you can use it for, and that's the whole cool thing about it. So for me, this is like the ultimate malt in a way. So you got 16 VCAs in it basically, and they're using the SSM chips, which is what I like. Attenuation range, so minus 100 decibels to 0 unity with up to plus 20 boosts with a trim pot adjustment at the back, so you can go underneath it and adjust it. What I do like about it though, Andy, and you and I are big on this, Andy, with Eurorack, we like surfaces to be playable. So, you know, like the sequences, we don't like have tiny little knobs and things. We like something to be playable. So that's why I like how the levels are on one side and the mutes are on the other. So you can, and the mutes will light up as well. So it becomes very playable.
Just looking at those mutes and thinking, I can see all sorts of little ideas in my head for that. Because on my little Tesseract mixer, that's got mutes, which will mute audio like on any mixer. But the idea of being able to hit and just stop a control voltage from going to a place, that's actually a really, really interesting idea. I do like the thought of that. So yums,
yeah. And I mean, obviously these have been around for a while, I said, but the fact that you've got an LED brightness indicates the amount of attenuation on the CV control of the signal. So on those mutes, you will actually see them flickery, and that's actually you actually seeing the signal come through, which I love sort of visual feedback on modules as well. And this is what I was saying about exponential and linear. So the actual VCA response on these are exponential in low control voltage range, and they have the pseudo log response in high voltage range. Now that's important because apparently, I actually never knew this, but apparently you kind of have a curve, and then when you kind of want things to scream, you want them to sort of take off like a jet. So it kind of makes sense. Like I'm kind of, you're trying to think about what the real world situation, yeah. And the curve is important at lower end because that's more finer sort of control, right? So for me, that's a really, really cool thing. I should probably get up Super Chat because Future World Machines has just popped us at €2. Big thank you to Future World Machines. Well, we got that. We should probably get the VMix social thing happening on here, which never ever works properly. It's always buggy, this thing. It's buggy, but it's useful. It's a useful buggy. All right. Let's connect. See if it's working. All right. And Ranzee, are you seeing my messages? Yeah, I did see the VCA from Expert Sleepers. I haven't actually been reading the chat. Sorry, guys, for a little bit. Where's the Future World Machines gone? Has it scrolled past already? Has it gone that quick, has it?
Oh, did he mean in Facebook?
No. In he means in chat. I'm just trying to get.
I didn't spot anything about.
Yeah.
No.
Trying to see it. It's really hard for me to keep if I'm not at this computer screen when I'm actually running the show. I can't see any messages, but I've got 2 message screens up in front of me now, so one's really big and I should be able to see it. Yes, I did see the video or the announcement on the Expert Sleeper module, but I haven't really checked it out. So having said all that stuff about the 4MS module, how there was nothing really that is out there that I could be wrong. There might be. But anyway, for me, this is an oldie and a beauty. We'll go back to talking about this because I just want to finish talking about it before we go to the show. There's soft limit effects to gain to prevent clipping. which I think is important. And it all still responds to higher control voltages with more punch and wider pulses. The matrix has expandability, so you can connect them to form larger matrices using the headers on the back. So you can have 4x8, 8x8, 12x4. So you can just keep adding more, which I think is cool. And there is control expandability as well. There's a 16-pin header on the back, which allows you an external device to control the VCAs. For example, patch recall, patch sequencing, preset patterns. And another thing which I didn't even know it could do this, quadrature panning. What the hell is that, guys? Tell me, please. That sounds like something really cool. Quadrature panning. But yeah, just it's very, very basic level. You can use it as a 4x4 mixer, splitter, dynamic sound reader, live wave shaper, whatever, which is exactly what I want it for. So they've got this baby to play with, which will be interesting, and the 4MS. And the whole reason why I've got two is because I've got two mixers. So one I'll use for that duty, and the other one I'll use for the other mixer. And the whole point then is you've got the ability to route things without having to go through, literally just through your sends and returns anyway. Okay, we are going to start the show in 2 minutes. I've just got a message from Big Robbie. He says he's in. Okay. It's waiting. It's not showing me that you've connected properly. Is that the issue, Robbie, again with your browser? I'm just having a look at your screenshot. Yeah, you're not getting a signal back. So what browser is he using? I can't actually tell from the photo. Try Firefox, try Chrome, try is it Mac? Try Safari. Try all the browsers.
Switch the lights on in the garage.
Is he using his Fairlight? Daniel. Slap. Yeah, it's definitely connected, but I think he needs to... It's showing me an error when you're connecting, is what I'm getting at this end. So it's trying to initiate the call, it says. But you guys are working, so...
Are you tuning your voice there, Andy?
I'm just singing along. I'm tuning my voice good. You wouldn't want to be inflicted with that for too long. I just sometimes forget that we're actually broadcasting all around the world, and I just go for my own little la 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 moment.
Right, what we'll do is, while Robbie's trying to see if he can connect, we'll start the show. So let's do this. Go. Big hello to you, big Saturday. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome weekend so far. Thanks for joining us. This is the Synth Geekery show. We're up to episode 140, which I can't even believe that we've even reached that far. What we do on this show is kind of talk about synths, electronic sort of music devices like drum machines, samplers, trackers even, Eurorack, modular, that sort of stuff behind me. We geek out on it here. So if you're new, big warm welcome to you. Please jump into the chat room. We have a chat room where we do talk to... Oh, that's the wrong button. What's that one? We do talk to the chatties. So there's the chat room. Go in there and say hi. And it's a very friendly community. We usually say hi back. Then we'll give you a warm welcome. But without further ado, I'd like to say good day to... Well, there's 3 guests here today, but one of them's not quite in yet. So we'll start with Daren. Daren, how's your week been? Good to see you.
Hello. Yeah, it's been okay. It's been fine. I don't think George is in the chat. I've just scanned through, but I want to thank George for buying the EP. So he'll be getting an Expanse at some point next year. So thank you to George if he is in. No, I don't think he is actually. But if he watches it back, thank you. Inky, I don't think she's in the chat neither, is she?
Haven't seen Lisa, no.
Well, just if she listens back, Inky, the cheesiness of it was supposed to be in the track because it was supposed to be as though you was live playing, hence the word. And it works anyway, so that's for Inky if she ever listens that back. And the other thing is, almighty chomping koala teeth. That rave, Dave, I'll tell you, that purple guy.
Yeah.
The track, well, we know what the track's called. It's the last one on the album. I Better Get Daren, and I know why. Oh, God. Jesus. It's mental. I don't know. Anyway, you'll have to wait till next year.
What's he broken this week?
He's not broken anything, but let me put it this way. The room was rattling. And
This sounds like a
I literally
PG
had
show.
to say, look. Well, yeah. I said, look, you can't do that. It just won't suit the album, but he's having it. It's there. So I've had to tame it down a bit, I think. But other than that, yeah, it's been a normal week.
Well, I think we're definitely gonna show your track, Daren, today, because I think we need to show the world what Rave Dave's been up to. So we'll do that a bit later.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. We'll go across to Brooksy. Say good day to Brooksy. How's your week been? Nice that you join us.
Hello, everybody. My week has been rubbish.
Again?
Really. You honestly, Ranz. I don't know if you noticed last week. I actually, all through the show, my nose was just streaming behind.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, well, I was booked in for my COVID booster jab on Sunday morning. So there I, dutifully trundled down to the vaccine place down the road. And they go through all, have you got any of these symptoms? No. I said, I've just got a head cold, got a snotty nose. You got a runny nose? I said, yeah. Is it really runny, like really runny, watery runny? I went, yeah, constantly streaming. He said, you can't come in, mate. You're going to have to go and get a PCR test. I went, what? Oh, right, okay. So off I then trundled up the road to where they do the PCR tests and had a PCR test done. And consequently, then had to isolate until the test result came through. And in the meantime, I was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So the test result came through negative. So it's not the dreaded C, but I've just been ill all week. I've just been basically in bed. I've been in one or two of the live streams through the week, but I've basically just spent the week in bed. Feeling miles better now. I'm feeling very good. I think I'm feeling great.
Just the time for the show. That's good.
Miseries, that's right. I have ordered a second Go case this morning, so I've got my second one on the way. Again, almost. I mean, I've decided what that's going to be in there. I'm going to rack the D again, and the Pro One are going to go into that case, and various things will come out just to free up again more room in this, and it'll build up. So, and I've arranged to buy a particular module. I won't say what that is. I'll wait until that actually arrives, but that's probably going to be after Christmas now because I've just spent the money. But yeah, I'll fill you in more. But other than that, in terms of sort of proper music making, all I've done is noodle about with this thing again. Just so nothing really exciting. Daren just makes me feel guilty all the time. But hey, anyway, thank you folks in the chat. Yeah, I am. It was nothing more than a tedious head cold. That's all it was. But yeah. So anyway, thank you for your best wishes. Get the hot whiskey into you. Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, a friend of mine during the week, it's got obviously nothing to do with your part of the world because he lives in Australia, but he was similar to you, Andy. He was like, on and off for a few weeks, and just more than a few weeks. It was probably more like about 6-7 weeks. It was like a long sort of period of time, and he just couldn't shake it. So he kept pestering the doc, and the doc eventually did some sort of extra sort of blood tests and poked around and stuff, and he found out that he had glandular fever. So which is something that you don't want to wish on your worst enemy. But
no, not really.
Once they worked out that he had that, and they steered the treatment down that route, he actually got healed quite quickly from that point. So I just kind of sometimes, you know, glandular fever is one the docs find hard to pick up on. So that's the one. That's what they told him. They said it's not something that we find easily unless we know where to look. And then they find it, and apparently that's one that you can. Once you know it's there, you can get rid of it. But one of those, it's a nasty one because it's one that keeps coming back to some people, not everyone, but some people get it, and then they'll get it reoccurring down the path, which is not something, like I said, it's not something you want to wish on anyone.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of. It's hard to get rid of.
Yeah. It's a bit like, you know, how they're talking about with chicken pox and how when you get older you get is it shingles from chicken pox? So it's all related. So when you get older, you get the pain from, and it's only because your mum and your dad forced you to have chicken pox when you were young, and you end up, when you get old, you end up getting shingles. Now, luckily for me, my parents didn't do that, so I touch wood, I won't ever get shingles. But yeah, so there's all these kind of weird things that we have to sort of put up with when we start getting north in the age bracket. But yeah, no, it's not nice. I'm glad you're feeling a bit better, Andy. So.
Yeah, feeling a lot better. Yeah, Paul just said, hope I'm 100%. So I don't think I've ever been 100% in my entire life, but it would be a nice thought. So thanks for the good wishes.
Usually we do feel 100% after we've had a few down at the pub. That's usually when it happens.
That's a different kind of 100%.
Yeah, that's a different 100%. That's called Dutch courage. Right. Okay. We should get stuck into the frivolities of the show. But this isn't really the frivolities. We should say hello to the chatties. Big hello. I did say hello earlier to what we'll call the early crew, the early bird crew. But first, who was really, really early in the chat was Synth Addict, and he's now. So he gets to wear the yellow Guernsey this week. So yeah, good to see all the friendly faces. I've said hello to most of you before, so we won't do it again. But if you are new, like I said, poke your head in and say hi, because in a few seconds I'm going to turn this window off and we'll come back to you a bit later. But like I said, each week, thanks for joining us. It's awesome to have you. But having said that, what is also awesome is this segment, apparently. I don't know myself, but... Yes, stranger things can happen on the other side of the internet, where these stupid things called memes do appear each week, starting with this one. And I thought this one was very apt because I was feeling a little bit guilty about using these things myself. But apparently presets don't make hits. And you have to be careful with this meme because this meme isn't just about what you're reading there. It's also about what's on the screen in the middle.
Acido database. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I missed something.
Yeah, so apparently that preset was named after...
I know it's an Andromeda.
Yeah, it was named after the track or the artist, and it definitely doesn't make a hit. So you've got to kind of know what you're talking about there. Anyway, that's probably one of those had to be there jokes, but we'll keep moving on. What about this one? Yes. This one is learn to identify the parts of a drum kit. And I just thought it was quite good, actually. Boom, ksh, please don't. Hell nah. Hell yeah. Apparently these should be the names of the sample files when you're sampling your drum kit. Anyway, doink. Needs more cowbell, some people would say. Yeah, I thought that was pretty clever. Now, the other thing that's weird about memes and things is not always are they memes. Sometimes they're like stupidity videos that come up during the week. You know what I mean? Like videos that people have no idea that they've actually created them. And as a result, we're gonna try this one out and see if you guys think this is weird. What about this? This came up in my feed on Discord during the week. This is not a very popular YouTube channel. Let's play it. We'll have a chat about it in a sec.
Here we presents the top 5 best synthesizers. Starting at number 5, Roland System 1. The System 1 is the most compact synth ever made by Roland. The innovative thin keyboard has only 25 keys, but they're full-sized. All the parameters are controlled by hand with 70...
Okay, so I don't want to sort of get these guys taken over my world with copyright strikes, but let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to the next segment where we've got this one here.
4. Korg MS-20 Mini. Electronics are always getting smaller, and that is the same case with Korg MS-20 semi-modular.
So there's a saying in the if you're going to make a mistake, you've got to be able to make it multiple times.
Is this video for real? Or is it a joke?
This video was for real.
Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah. Now the thing,
you've watched them a few times.
The thing that we're kind of sort of catching on here is obviously the obvious stuff is, yes, the names of the synths weren't matching up to the graphics at all. It kind of led us down to this discussion about, are these AIs, are these like bots making these videos? Are they scouring sort of, Gear News or, Synth Anatomy sort of websites and getting, top 5 sort of articles and scouring the text and then going off to Google Images and grabbing the images, and then obviously the algorithm is completely bald.
I think this happened on, I think they did the top 10 audio interfaces a while back, or 2019 or 20, and I think it was a similar thing then where they'd got the pictures the wrong way around.
Yep, yeah. Oh, it's a beauty. So yeah, I thought Andy you'd like that one.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I'm not going to put the link in the description. These guys they don't need any more views. That's for sure. But yeah, that's
search for best.
That's funny side for the week, gentlemen. Let us know in chat what was your favourite. Anyone seen that? It's all generated content. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I think it's an AI or it's a bot that's done it. I can't stand the text to speech. Says that's what I'm agreeing. There's so many videos where people probably just don't have the English skills.
They're terrible, those things.
Yeah.
I just switch them off straight away.
I wonder if YouTube will eventually end up like this. All the most popular videos on YouTube will just be algorithms. Yeah. No, Paul, you do not need that lady for your samples. Definitely do not use her. Yes. No, that's not a good idea. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for Funny Side. Now, let's go to the news because, as I said, this week we've got some interesting stuff. Yep. Starting off, we're going to have a little look at this video.
This is the Florivoxtron, a sample playback-based synthesizer which uses subtractive synthesis techniques to modify the original sounds. The format follows a pretty standard flow of oscillator, in this case the Robertsonics Tsunami sample player, a VCA into a VCF, valve overdrive, and finally an effects unit. What I think is quite unique about this synthesizer is that the signal flow is stereo from the beginning to the end, and this includes how the modulators work. Working from the source, we have 4 voice layers: 1, 2, 3, and 4. These being German for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Given that the sound source is sample-based, each of these voices can access any of the 120 sample sets. Each sample set has independent samples per note for the 36-note keyboard. Each of these voices contains a stereo VCA to control their level. Within these VCAs is also where we see the first use of the many modulators. The modulators are in essence pretty standard, but each one is actually 2 LFOs. The first one is sort of like a level LFO and the other a pan LFO, but that's not strictly how they work. On startup, the unit loads a default patch to set parameters to a usable position. Let's create a simple patch where we can explore each of the Florivoxtron's sections. By the way, the name is derived from one of my earlier projects named the Florian Vox, which was a nod to Florian Schneider of Kraftwerk, and this was a computer voice synthesizer. We will start with choosing a sample set.
Am I having an out-of-body experience here?
Florivoxtron. Well, oh, there's some
Have
funny
we
noises
crashed?
coming back. Oh, I can hear you, Darren. I can see a picture. What are you seeing right now?
I can hear you. I'm seeing the Florivox, my number one
Yeah,
bassist.
that's what I've got.
Has Ranzee done a runner? He's completely muted.
Ranzee's muted. Robbie's turned into a
Hi.
boy. What?
Robbie's having a rave.
I'm still here.
Robbie's having. We had Boy of London. Yeah, those were days.
Beautiful. Okay, so so the Florivoxtron.
Hi, Robbie.
The Florivoxtron is obviously made by an Australian. This is a once-off synth, but it is a DIY synth. Now, I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is based on the Robertsonics Tsunami Wave Player. Now, this is, you can buy that from SparkFun. I'm going to bring up the webpage to that in a sec. And basically what he's done is he's built this synth around that wave player, which I think is actually quite clever. And not only has he done that, he's gone into some massive amount of hardware development and user interface development. This thing is incredible. And I'll link.
It looks awesome, I think.
Yeah, I'll link the video into the chat in just a sec. Now the thing about this is it's got a bit of Elka Synthex. It's got a bit of he's actually using the CEM 3340 filters. He's got digital
Got a bit
modulations.
Yeah, looks a bit like the old Korg 800 DV, that with the two rows on it. Just the shape. I think it looks amazing. It looks fab.
Yeah, it does. It is. It's a thing of beauty. Now let me just. There is a website that he's actually produced, and he goes in and documents everything, and it's called amongstmyselves.com. So let me just get that up. Amongstmyselves.com, and it's in one of his blog articles.
Future World Machine said, "Is it made of chocolate?" It does look chocolate boxy, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah, it's it's completely DIY. So let's just get this full screen here. Here's his. God, I gotta keep turning these things off. Here's his website. We can talk a little bit about it, but it is really quite an interesting synth, and I do urge you guys to check the video out a bit later. But like I said, it's based on the Robertsonics Tsunami sample player module, which you can get from SparkFun. It's about $70 US for that, or $80, something like that. He's very heavily influenced by Kraftwerk, and he also loves the sounds of the Elka Synthex. You can't go wrong with samples, Kraftwerk, and Elka Synthex. I love how he's named his voices, after the German first four numbers. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's really quite an interesting synth, and the video does go for about 30 minutes. So I do urge you guys to check it out. You can really nerd out on his video, but he's got some amazing things that you can do with the voices just by routing them and kind of stuff. But yeah, interesting sort of design, very interesting user interface. Some choices there which I probably wouldn't have thought of. So I think there's some innovation in it.
I must admit, I wouldn't mind that actually sat on the desk. I think that's something I could just sit and just play with and just be careful. I'll say that.
Looks fab.
Yeah, just chill out to using that.
Yeah,
I quite like it.
Now, yeah, we're still getting repeat audio going back through Robbie, so he'll have to mute some speakers or something. Robbie, can we hear you? Yep, we can. He's still faffing about. So
Well, we can We can hear his Foley sound, but we can't hear him.
Wait. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
was running off the internal
You can do it.
speakers
Foley
because I've
files.
got all these different things going.
Oh, that's fair enough. Why don't we pause on the Flory Voxtron for a sec and say g'day to Robbie? I mean, it's nice to have him. So let's see if this button here
How you
works.
going?
G'day, mate.
G'day. From
Hi,
one
Robbie.
Aussie to a fake Aussie. Or actually, there's a real one. Just down there, look.
Oh, isn't that a thing of beauty?
Which
Sam?
one?
I can see the monitor in the background. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, isn't that
Yeah, that's what I was
Beautiful.
connecting
Series
with
3.
first.
Yummy, yummy.
I'm eternally jealous. You know that.
Well, you wouldn't be of this one because it's broke. But I need to fix it before next weekend.
What's happening
because
next
this is
weekend?
So this and myself are going up to Bradford in the north of England, somewhere near where Andy lives. And we're doing a demonstration.
About
live
60
kind of
miles from where Andy
demo.
lives.
Okay.
Well,
So
I'll do my best
I
to get there,
expect to
Robbie.
see you next. You better.
Yeah, well, ooh. We need a link for. I posted one up in PSN last night from what I found from the Bradford Museum of Thingamajigamy Whatnot. I'll have another look see if I can find it.
Thingamajigamy whatnot.
I'll send it over. But yeah, there's going to be loads of stuff
All
going
right.
on. So I'm going to be there, which is probably the least exciting thing. But then there's Robin Scott, who many of you might remember, who had a hit in 1979, his first hit, Pop Music by M.
Oh, yeah.
That was him.
Oh yeah.
But he was a big Fairlight user back in the day, so he's coming down. And we've got Sisters with Transistors screening as well, and there'll be live theremin demonstrations, and there's a big synthesizer display on till the end of the month. So yeah, and it's virtually all free apart from the film, which is about £5. So it's a good day out.
Awesome. That sounds extremely good.
Is it the Science Media Museum, Robbie? It is, isn't it?
Yes, that National Science and Media Museum. I can send you a link actually, because they started posting it on social media last night.
No, I've got it.
And,
Fairlight CMI, Old Sounds, New Voices, 27th of November.
That's
right,
it.
I've got that.
That's the one.
Right,
That's the
quick.
one.
Post that, Andy.
Yeah.
Can you post that into the chat? For
Yeah,
us?
I'll stick it in there. Yeah.
Thank you.
They billed me as the UK's leading Fairlight expert, which I'm not at all happy about because I do not believe that I am. I'm just the stupid one that can transport it 300 odd miles up the country.
Take the glory while you got it.
Now you're in it, Robbie.
Yeah. Mate, name names, drop them, do everything, enjoy it, you know. All right, I've just, while we're at it too, I've just posted a link to that YouTube video of the Flory Voxtron, the Australian DIY synth that we just showed earlier. It's a brilliant video. If you've got half an hour to spare, grab yourself a drink, sit back and watch that. He goes through it in kind of a fair bit of detail, but it is worth watching the detail because there's little things that pop out that he does in those detailed sections that I just think, hang on a minute, I haven't seen someone do that before. And that is kind of where I think I just want you guys to sort of, if you're all into synthesis, I think you guys should check that out. All right, now we're going to move on to the next bit of news, and that is that I need to, where is my... I think what we'll do next is, I don't want to do this one. I actually do want to do the other one because I'm kind of been dying to show you guys this. Where is it? This one. Here. Bang. So this is a miniature wonderland, the Hamburg-based attraction that is home to probably the largest model train set. But while they had lockdown last year, they had some time to have a bit of a play with it. And you can see that time was to actually make a Guinness World Record of a train performing a compilation of 20 classic pieces over a 211 metre track, making a full melody of 2,840 notes long. The total of 2,840 glasses were placed strategically along the model railway and filled with water to create the ringing tone when hit. There you go. How's that for a bit of coolness, eh? That's crazy.
That combines
As
my
long as one of the glasses
favourite
didn't
thing.
tip over.
You go first, Robbie.
I was to say that combines three of my favourite things in the world: music, trains, and alcohol.
Brilliantly said. But I don't know if you'd have the patience though to do that. Would you have the patience to do that?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. What people do in lockdowns, hey? Daren, what do you think? You gonna do something like that yourself?
I'd say I'd get about 4 glasses. I'd get 4 glasses in tune. It'd knock one over and set electrocute everything.
Yeah. I think the most obvious thing there is they would have definitely had to have super glued the glasses down, because once you've got them in place, you don't want them falling over. So that way they could stop them from falling over. Andy, are you into these sort of things?
Well, I'm going to have to say at this point, I'm sorry I didn't pay any attention to that because I was trying to book myself a ticket for this event next Saturday. Did you say it's free, Robbie? Because it's asking me for 25 quid.
Nah, you're on the wrong one, mate.
I don't know what on earth I've done here.
He's
How
booking
do
for
I cancel
somewhere.
all this?
Well, let's get back to the trains. I've just put the link in the chat to the video.
Sorry.
You can sort that yourself
He's
out.
just booked somewhere.
So the link to the video is in the chat. Do check out the Guinness Book of Records article about it. It's actually I actually think it's quite interesting how they've done it. When you guys think of what people have done in sampling in the day, I don't think anyone's ever gone to the point where this actual little train, by the way, has a little a speaker and a microphone. Sorry, not a speaker, a microphone on it, so that as it drives past, you can actually hear every single glass being tapped, and that's fed back. I think it's been fed back either by cable or by Bluetooth or something, so that we can all hear it, which I thought was just really, really outstanding. I mean, that for those people who have been to Germany, probably would have been to that train thing. It's been around for a while, so it's quite well known. But yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. All right, what we should do next is, speaking of crazy, these guys are crazy. Sounds a bit FM-y. Right. Well, this is by a company called Twisted Electrons, and they are teasing a new synth pulled from an old sound card, which is why I made that little hint there that it sounds a bit FM-y. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Yamaha, the famous Yamaha FM sound card that people used on those computers in the day. But there's not a lot to see or know about it other than the fact that the video shows photos titled 12/12/21. So maybe that might be the launch date that we're going to find out about this. But anyway, more information is on the Electronauts forum. User TrackerJat has identified the Sound Blaster 16MCD CT1750 in the video. So there you go, with some pretty keen eyes there. Yeah, so Yamaha YMF262-M, Robbie, you should recognise that one, which is an OPL chip. Provide low-cost FM.
OPL too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. These guys have done stuff before, like they've done similar things like the Sega Mega Drive sound chip into the Mega FM, Commodore 64, the Therap SID they did, and they also did the Happy NES L, which is the Nintendo thing. So they're kind of into that sort of computer world sound into synthesis. So I think we're definitely gonna. Robin knows a little bit about it too. I should bugger him during the week. But yeah, does anyone else Twisted Electrons? Anyone else know anything? Let's have a quick look at the chatties because you never know. Someone might be shouting out. It's an FBO1
So I took a
with
look at the
extra
Mega
controls.
FM a little while back.
Yeah.
And it looks a really, really cool little unit because, as you say, it takes the, I think it's the 2412 FM chip that was in the Mega Drive or the Genesis for our American friends. And they did some, they exposed all the main parameters to the surface with the faders and the rotaries and stuff. And it sounded really, really nice. It was a toss-up between that and the what's that other thing that came out? There was another FME type thing. Sorry, the wife has just turned up, so you're getting a live demonstration there.
Yeah.
It's okay, don't worry, it's fine. So
She's not going to run over the
Karen.
CMI, is she? She's not going to back in the car and do
that's
it.
right. But it's nice that they've taken the creative board, which looks like they've done. They've taken that OPL2 chip off of there because that's the sound of the 90s gaming stuff.
Yep.
It's a pretty legendary sound. So yeah, interested to see what that comes out like.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Daren? Are you into the old sounds of the old 90s games, the FM sounds?
Well, I've got an Akimi's Castle, so
that's what I asked you.
yeah. So yeah, I don't mind them. Yeah, Commodore 64 is great on it. So all that, I don't mind that side of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really got a lot of, like I say, apart from the Castle, I haven't really got a load of that style equipment. But yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm popping you on and off mute every now and then, Robbie, because we are getting quite a lot of noise coming in. So I'll just going to mute you for a sec. No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so Brooksy, are you still trying to book yourself, or do you want to?
I've managed it, I think. So yeah, So FM.
That's Robbie's Foley cave.
I get a bit like Daren. I haven't got a lot of FM stuff. I've only got a Volker FM, which I get every now and again. I dig out to go tinkly tinkle. Well, yeah, I think it looked interesting and sounded interesting, but it's not 100% my task to take, as you know. Don't want to upset Robbie now because he's gone to such lengths to get on.
He's unmuted again now, so because his wife closed the garage.
Tinkly stuff.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Oh God!
You wound me right here. You wound me.
No, I don't.
He likes to poo-poo on things, doesn't he?
I'm used to it.
You're all picking on me. So I'm going. I'm having enough.
Actually, Eddie, I tell you what, you will love this because I don't know. I just kind of think this is like getting sort of nerdy into sounds. This is probably right up your alley. Look at this guy. He's done a DIY.
Now we have a very dry
IKEA hack.
Okay.
And he's just going to show
and if you
how
pan
it
over here
sounds.
to the mixer in Cubase, you'll see that here's our channel. It's going out to the master output, and that's what you can hear. And here is the send. That's the one that's going to channel 3, which is going to that amp. And right now it's turned off. So let's go ahead and turn it on.
Here we go.
And turn it up.
Nah, I know what this is.
More and more of that plate sound. All right. So you can dial it in this way. Turn it up, turn it down.
Wait till you see this thing.
Now,
there it is.
Yeah.
What's interesting is this plate is active.
Yeah.
Here. So if I have the speakers turned up super loud, some of that would get picked up on the plate. Or if I tap on this,
It is so
it gets
cool.
picked up by the plate. And that's not such a good thing, but there are some interesting possibilities that are opened up when you have a work situation like this, where the plate is actually right in front of you. And that if you want to damp the sound of the plate, let's say it's too reverberant and you want to cut down on the reverb time a little bit, you can literally damp down the plate. You can take a scarf and just put it on there. Did you hear the sound of the room change suddenly? Check this out. It's a nice reverberant room. Suddenly it's a much tighter room. If I put some pressure on this, it can make the room even tighter.
All right, so it goes into a lot more detail of that, and I just thought I was just nerding out on reverb effects. And the thing is, I don't reckon a lot of people actually know what true plate reverb actually was in the day, and because they're so used to the digital algorithms, right?
Yes.
The digital algorithms are what people are living on these days, and the real plate reverbs. I mean, we talked spring reverbs recently, you know, and you know, so we're starting to sort of realize what spring reverbs really were in the day. Well, that's a plate reverb, and look at how you can sort of muck around with that. Who wants to nerd out on the plate reverb? I'm going to go with you, Brooksy, first, because I know you love this stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, I've actually seen the video, and there's a few other similar ones actually like it. But an original plate reverbs. I mean, to be honest with you, I had no idea really what they were either. But if I've told this story before, then I'm sorry for repeating myself. But we went, myself, a friend of mine called Jamie, and Paul Bauer.
I'll just mute him. It's all right.
Is that?
Yeah. That's the Robbie.
Yeah,
he's got his hands in the air now. You're a shocker. I've just really
show. This is ridiculous.
I've just mute you for a sec, Robbie, while you tinker about. Go ahead. Sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
Is he getting a plate reverb out the back of the?
I think so. He's got something in his hand.
Something called the Synthesizer Museum. It was some rich bloke who made millions on the stock exchange, and he built a synthesizer museum for his massive collection of synthesizers. But eventually, he decided just to get rid of it all. And Paul Bauer, is the chap who passed away last year. But I mean, this is years ago. He used to manage Axis Studios here in Sheffield, and the owners of the studio wanted 2 EMT plate reverbs that this guy was getting rid of. So we went down in a van from Sheffield down to Oxfordshire, where this chap lived, to collect these 2 plate reverbs. Now, the Synthesizer Museum was down in a cellar. So we had to go down these steps to go, well, these things are massive. The EMT plate reverbs, I mean, they're like king-size mattress-size things and sort of shapes, but made out of wood. They weighed a ton. Honestly, it took 4 of us to get them up the stairs. It was massive, absolutely massive. These things, and we had to, sort of manhandle them up this rather steep sort of staircase, getting them out. Oh, it nearly bloody killed me. That thing did. But yeah, so eventually we got them. We did get them back to Axis Studios and had them set up so that they could be used as a reverb on the desk and reverb send, and they did sound fantastic. I mean, it was a couple of weeks later when they were actually all installed and done and ready. But I did have the opportunity to go back and have a play with putting sounds through them and stuff, and they are amazing things. They really sound lush. I mean, the old EMT plate, it's got like a big metal wheel on it that you can sort of turn to adjust. It's like the sort of wheels you get on a submarine.
Yeah, the tension.
Yeah, absolutely mental things. But yeah, the idea of sort of making your own out of an IKEA trolley and a tea tray is really very appealing.
Yeah, I know, right? It's actually really cool. I just think, Daren, have you ever seen reverb plates in the old-fashioned ones in real life before?
I haven't seen the old-fashioned ones, but I've seen quite a few videos on. In fact, actually using IKEA stuff, making plate reverbs. So I've seen the videos, but I've never actually seen one in real life. An actual old classic one.
Yeah. it kind of gets you thinking, doesn't it? Like they could do a little mini one in a Eurorack module, maybe. I don't know how good it would be. It'd have to. I guess it's probably not going to be that good because it's just not going to have the
We're going through a lot of sound effects today.
Yeah, I think Brooksy's got to answer his phone. There's lots going on. I'll put Robbie back on. Robbie, I know you like to nerd out on these things too. What do you think of that?
First of all, sorry about the external noise. It's as you can imagine, these things are not quiet machines, and then I keep forgetting that I'm on this laptop thing. Plate reverbs. I've seen one. Effing huge it was. Something like 6 foot across and 4 foot tall, big tank thing. And but yeah, it's just a classic sound, isn't it? The plate reverb, and we have been spoiled with digital recreations, in abundance, and it kind of takes away from the specialness of the fact that this and the spring reverbs were just purely mechanical things that were very analog in the purest form. You just send some sound into a spring or send some sound onto a plate, and you get this reverberation that you can then control. And it's clever stuff. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I just honestly, when I saw it, I just thought to myself, there are so many people that would have no idea that that's how they were originally done. Just
a second. I've just thought of this while we're doing this. Since the show started at exactly 2:00, everybody in the chat, all the chatties who've been listening since the beginning, write down a list of every single sound effect, Foley sound effect that you've heard from 2:00, because there's some classics in there. I'm not going to mention them. I've got a bit of a list here. So as the show goes on, spot every single Foley sound.
Yeah.
Whilst you're on the screen there, Daren.
In the show. Yeah.
Whilst you're on the screen there, Daren, I've recognised MC Tunes 808 Stay, the only rhyme that bites. At least I think that's what it probably is. Now to the left of it, as I'm looking at it, I have to say, is that Cabaret Voltaire? Because the guy at the front of the picture looks very much like Stephen Malinder.
Baby Ford, Children of the Revolution.
Oh, is it? Oh, hey. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, right. Okay, sorry. Interrupted.
I'm glad you said it was Baby Ford and not that T-Rex guy. That would have been a completely different show, wouldn't it? Oh, dear. No, so yeah. So anyway, that's the news. There was a bit of DIY. There was a bit of Steak stuff coming out soon with FM, which I thought Robbie would love. Robbie loves anything FM. All you have to do is to say FM and his ears prick up. He's an easy person to please. But yeah, the model trains, the Flory Voxtron. What a cool sort of week we've had with news. I mean, I just think it doesn't always have to be about product, does it? It can be other interesting things out there in the world that make us happy. And I actually think sometimes you actually feel happier with this sort of stuff because you're not feeling like, oh God, I'm going to have to find some money to buy this product now. And we haven't really had that this week. It was all last week, wasn't it?
There was literally no news this week at all. We really struggled last night. We had about 4 things that luckily we couldn't talk about the week before, so we brought them forward. And then we just chinwagged about replacing old vintage gear with software emulations, which went down nicely. But yeah, it's a very quiet week news-wise.
Yeah, there was a few kind of firmware updates and that sort of boring stuff. And I don't know if it, MC707, there was that sort of stuff that came out during the week, and I just thought we don't usually cover that. I do like to cover it if I've got the gear here that I can show, but if I don't have the gear, there's not really much point in me covering it because it's like there's a firmware update. It does this. Sometimes it's not really newsworthy. So yeah. But speaking of good things, we should have a quick look at the chatties because they're cool and they like to do nice things. So QRD&K is talking about spring reverb taken out of a Worsey Prisma DX5. Wants to put it into a 19-inch rack. That's interesting. I got a spring reverb module from Dope for earlier this year, and I haven't put it to good use yet. And it was dirt cheap, if I must say. was very, very cheap. I mean, like, when you think about how cheap that thing is and the quality of the parts and everything that go into it, I just think it's a really, really good buy. If you can, even if you could build a little enclosure for it, doesn't have to go into Eurorack, you could make a nice little enclosure for that thing, and I think it would do a lot of people proud. Yeah, I love mucking around with reverbs. When we call reverb, I'm talking about electromechanical. Dare I say analog? It's not really a true term for it. It's electromechanical reverb is the correct term for it, because you can get some really, really interesting sounds that you won't get from an algorithm. Dare I say, algorithms just don't have that flexibility. Like putting a towel on a table. The guy puts boxes on and like a whole bunch. You check that video out. It's actually really, really cool. And the fact that he's used all the bits from IKEA. All right, we're going to go into the next segment, which is the last of the normal 3 that we do, but not the last segment. We got some scams. Oh my goodness me. Now, don't forget, this is not just about scams. This is also about price watch. And I've been price watching. So if you're living in Australia, there is a company that does these products. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am scratching my head a little bit at why one of them is the same price as the other when one's severely missing black and white section down the bottom. Surely that's not how things are supposed to work, right? They're both the same synth, but half of the manufacturing is missing on one of them. Why is it the same price? So retailers who do this sort of rubbish, not happy, Jan, is what we say in Australia. We are not happy. We don't like retailers doing this sort of stuff. That desktop module should always be offered at a cheaper price. That is the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to encourage people into products that may not have the space, or you don't want to pay for the extra engineering and manufacturing that goes into something with a keyboard. So I don't know. Do you guys agree with me there? I mean,
well, yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, ring them up and tell them you're not paying that. Not paying that. I'll offer you. I'll offer you $699 for it. And see what they say.
Well, I'll just look on some of the UK sites.
Yeah, Robbie?
I've just looked on some of the UK sites, and so, for example, the very unfortunately named PMT Online are offering the keyboard version for $499 and the module for $499. Yeah. So there's a £50 drop in the price for the module here in the UK. So why they're doing that? That's wrong. That's just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of nerves me.
Slap him, Ranzee.
Yeah, go slap him. I'll slap him here and you can slap him there. We'll slap him everywhere. Slap him in your country too. Have some fun slapping. What else we got? We got this one. This is a fellow Australian who's bought the Akai Force from a local Australian retailer. Not the same one as the one I just showed you, but they do have the same 2 letters, which start with DJ in their name, but different. Anyway, so you can probably think to yourself, hang on, well, that doesn't look quite right, does it? Hang on, why am I twisting my head? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not quite right. Let me show you a different photo. Let me show you the other photo. Yes. What the hell happened there? Yes, in shipment, that is what happened in shipment. So, no, it wasn't him trying to make his screen angle up, which is one of the biggest complaints of Akai Force users. No, it definitely happened in shipment, and he wasn't too happy. But the big issue here is that the company that shipped it is a well-known Australian retailer, but they did not pack it in anything. They just shipped it straight in the box that the manufacturer gives you. So, if you go to a store and you buy something, you can put the box in the back of your car, you're okay, because you're in charge of shipping it. But if if a shop is going to ship something, they're just relying on the box that the manufacturer uses. That's just rubbish, I think. So, yeah. So there you go. We get those sort of beautiful things. Anyway, has that happened to any of you guys before?
Terrible.
You guys only had sort of nasty shipments that have come in?
Yeah, UPS.
I have one that never did.
But that was because, well, yeah, just when we did a gig in Portugal, we used UPS to ship the gear over from Sheffield to the site in Portugal, which cost a pretty penny. Now, all the gear arrived intact in Portugal, but it came back pretty bashed about when it came back to Sheffield, and it was a big battle to get some compensation. My Supernova was that it had completely broken the internal circuit board and stuff. So my Supernova is now has a brand new. Well, it was brand new then. They had to replace the entire internal circuit board, the whole thing. So that was all paid for ultimately by UPS, but it was a proper battle to get it done. And because you use people like that because they are supposed to know how to ship things from one place to another, and it was blooming hard work. Yeah, it took about 6 months to get it all sorted out.
You kind of trust them, don't you? Yeah, and the fact that it took 6 months, Andy, that's also another the fact that it happened, and then
they claimed it wasn't their fault.
They claimed it
wasn't their fault.
That sort of stuff.
It's just like, well, how can it not be your fault? You've shipped it. Anyway, that was a long time. That was 20 years ago. But even so, even now, I'm very dubious about UPS.
Yes, indeed. We do have another couple to show you guys. I'll just do it over our faces. How about this one? 8,500 US. This one's sent in by Synth Addict. Bonus free shipping though for base limit.
Oh, that's fine.
Free shipping.
Yeah,
Bonus.
it's free shipping. Well, all right.
Look, if you think that's bad, normally we show synths on this channel, but I'm just like starting to feel really sorry for guitar pedal owners because look at this one. Holy snapping ducks. Yeah, wow. What the hell is a Boss OC3 doing at that price? That's what I want to know. I've actually got one. I'm starting to think that I might sell it.
I've gone off. I'm not sure about this now. You know these really expensive ones, like this, eh?
Yeah.
I don't think that anything wrong with that. I think there's more something wrong with the person who actually goes to buy it.
Well, the person that sells it obviously won't have anything wrong with them because they'll probably be on a yacht somewhere in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? If you're gonna buy one of these things at that ridiculous price, then there's got to be something seriously, there's got to be something seriously wrong.
It is. Now, I would say that's
you
a
don't just
scam.
suddenly go on to like.
I don't know so much a scam. It's just stupidity, isn't it? It's more stupidity. Scam is probably more where someone's trying to deceive you that something is what it's not. But that's probably just more stupidity, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll go on eBay and see if I can find a Boss guitar pedal. That one looks all right. £100,000. I'll just that one. Do you know what I mean? It's like what?
Just use the wife's credit card. Go.
Do you think that maybe they're deliberately putting them on eBay at that price to get featured on this show?
Oh, I think you've got way too high expectations of this show, Robbie. If that's the case.
People go look at it now and they're selling loads of them at the right price.
Oh my goodness me. Usually when I talk to people on the internet, they're like, "Who? Who are you again?"
Exactly. I would question whether anybody.
Whereabouts is that country again?
A Boss octave pedal actually even knows about this show, Ranzee, to be honest.
That's true. That is true. I do show a few guitar pedals, but I don't plug guitars into them.
We do.
I do apologise.
Do fetch silly money. I mean, in the same way that the vintage synths can go for silly money, so there are some guitar pedals which go for lunatic amounts. And but I wouldn't have thought a Boss octave pedal was one of them. Really.
Well, like a 1976 small stone phaser goes for some pretty stupid money now because
they do go for.
Jean-Michel Jarre used it in Oxygen, so everyone wants one, and there weren't that many made.
So inflated prices everywhere, that man.
Isn't he? You need to go and slap him, Robbie. We've got to do a lot of slapping this week.
So if you want to buy a Fairlight, right, this is a lot of people like to have what Jean-Michel Jarre had. Mm-hmm. And Jean-Michel Jarre's Series 2 is actually a Series 1 that's been upgraded to a Series 2 because you could do that. But he kept his Series 1 voice cards because they taste a little bit grainier.
Yeah.
And so now everyone wants Series 2, but they want Series 1 voice cards.
Mm-hmm.
And you can charge anything you want for them for those people. So he's responsible for a huge amount of high prices on music technology, that man.
Yeah. Well, if you're good with the soldering iron, you could probably make a voice card.
Yeah, well, if he did what I did on my video way back last year in lockdown when I bashed a few pans together, just think how much those pans would be worth.
There you go.
Mate, whatever you do not get rid of those pans. You're onto something, honestly. Yeah.
I'm going to
hoard
sign
everything. Hoard everything.
You didn't use your best Le Creuset set, though, did you, Darren? No, you didn't use those. You just used the cheap ones from Astor. They sound better anyway. Those Le Creuset pans don't sound that great when you hit them.
What are these guys saying? Yeah, I did see the CS80. You shouldn't have given it away, Andy, because I was going to show that next week. I haven't seen a Fairlight on here for a while, though.
Because they're all here.
Because Robbie's hoarding them all. Yeah.
No, seriously, I've got 4 here at the moment.
Yes. Anyway, good to see. Right. Okay. Next segment. Ready, set, go, bang. Yeah. It's that time of the show. We're going to do the new segment. Yes, it's Name That Synth.
Ready,
and this time we have got a different person who sent it in. I didn't mention earlier who that was, and that's Daren. So no surprises. Let me just get the video queued up. I need to make this full screen. How do I do that? Where's the full screen button? There it is. All right. Now, Daren, I need to press stop on this at some stage, don't I? So you probably need to help me here, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
It'll go black.
Oh, it'll go black? All right,
20
cool.
seconds. You can repeat the 20 seconds.
Is that it there? We'll stop now?
Yeah, you can pause it there and you can send me back to the beginning anyway.
All right, cool. All right, so what you got to do, chatties, is in chat, you got to tell us what that synth is. You've got the first person who gets it gets bragging rights for a week. I'm not going to say anything whether you've got it right or wrong. Just see how you go in the chat. See who's... Not many people are making... Just have a stab.
Oh, that's a good shout, Jim. That's a good shout, Jim.
Go for it.
Shout.
Go for it. Just keep going. Have a crack. Have a go. Someone's saying OB4 voice. Someone's saying MB33. Someone's saying DX11. Wow. A beige DX11, hey? A beige DX11. Unless Darren has played around with the colours. No, we shouldn't be playing around with colours, by the way. Not sure one of those 303 clones, says Andy. I got nothing, says Eddie. Eddie's like the god of Name That Synth. Yeah, he's got nothing. No idea this week. So Brooksy, you got no idea. Usually you're pretty on top of it.
I think the MB33 is a good shout from Jim.
Ben Breslin saying Timberwolf. Okay, why don't we put you guys out of your misery? Let's have a look.
Timberwolf.
Let's see what it's... Yeah, Timberwolf. Here we go. It is. Yes, very, very, very good video that Daren did. If you're wondering who Daren is, it's this guy here. Sorry, trying to work out where to point. It's weird because it's all reverse. You get it that way. Yes, this guy. This is the person that's responsible for it. And the MB33, point to it, Daren. Where is it? It's just next to you, isn't it? Whereabouts is it?
You can't see it. It's out of shot.
Oh, it's out of shot.
That's why it's just out of shot here.
That's why I used it, because it's out of shot.
That's why I thought. I thought if you go and tell who sent it, yeah, they can see all my kit behind me. Luckily, apart from that one.
Yes, that's a good point. Well, I mean, obviously, you've got to give people credit for the work. I mean, the work that you put into that was actually phenomenal. I thought, like, the first part anyone can do, but the second part, like, giving that actual, synth a beautiful little tune at the end, it was amazing. It was really, really good. Really highly professionally well done.
Well, that little tune, it was only a 10-minute thing. I thought, well, I was trying to find out something I could do that was less obvious that was in the studio, and so I thought the MB33 I used occasionally. I thought I'd make a track out of it, so I started making a track out of it, and I thought, why not? I'll use it as part of a video for the What's the Synth? So that's how that came about, yeah.
No, it's brilliant.
So most of that track is, obviously not the drums, but the bass line and obviously the bit that you hear is from the MB33.
Oh, there you go.
The plucks are not, but other than that, yeah, it's all from MB33. So
it's a good lesson what you can do. What you can do with a little MB3. Yeah, congratulations to Jim in the chat for being the first person to guess it. He got it pretty quick, didn't he, Andy? I thought he was pretty quick off the ranks.
Yeah, he was straight in.
Yeah. Obviously, he's got one.
Actually has
one. Yeah, I reckon he's got one, or he's had one.
I think he's got one. Yeah, I think he might well have.
Let's see what he says. Let's see what he says. Give him a second. Takes 10 seconds.
Come on, Jim, tell us. Do you have one?
Yep. I reckon he does. Let's see what he says. Waiting for that YouTube lag. And we love YouTube lag. I spotted one for sale just today. So he's got it. It's in his little. What do you call that? There's actually a psychological thing. You know when you're buying a car and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere, or if you start catching a bus, you start. It's one of those things.
See buses everywhere.
If you start catching a bus, you've never caught a bus before, you start seeing buses everywhere. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a psychological thing. I forget what it's called. Someone will know. There's always someone in chat that knows, and it's one of the cool things about YouTube.
Well, I think they're about £99. I think something like that.
Pretty cheap.
Or they was under £100. So
yeah,
they're definitely.
Can you still get them, Daren?
I like the little thing. Yeah,
I thought you could. Yeah.
You can still buy them.
I think there are a couple of hundred over here in Australia, probably 300 or so. Toman have got them.
They might have gone up to about 110 now.
124 US at Toman, according to the webs.
Yeah, they've moved up a little bit, but
yeah.
But yeah, cool little.
But you can't get them anymore at Toman because it says unfortunately you can't get them. Maybe you can't. Reverb, maybe Reverb. 215 Australian, yeah, £100 on Reverb.
They might be coming to the end then, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't.
Or getting hard to get hold of, I don't know.
What's the company that makes them is MAM, is that? MAM. They're German, aren't they? MAM Germany? Yeah.
Well, Andy's got one, haven't you? Andy's got one, but the original version, which was a TB... what was it? Pink, I think it was.
Freebase 383. No, it's orange.
Yeah.
I've got it down here.
Yeah, that's what the original was.
From when I waggled it around before.
19-inch rack.
I don't even know if it works.
They packed it all into that little MB33, basically. Pretty much the same thing.
I don't think
that was the original.
I don't think MAM Germany are doing anything other than Contact plugins and the MB33 anymore. So according to their website, so it'd be a shame if they've stopped making it. Yeah.
So because so yeah,
it's a tiny little thing. It's perfect for Daren's little setup there. Yep. Have you those dip switches on the back? Are they just for setting your MIDI channel? Is that what they're for, or is there something else?
Yeah, that's for MIDI channel. Yeah, and it's MIDI channel.
Okay.
In and out.
Cool.
Just a simple little analog toolbox.
Yeah. No, it's a brilliant submission, and that, you know, each week we can bring one in, and you know, you guys out there, you might want to submit one. So all you have to do to submit one is a couple of rules. Number one is the video has to be less than a minute long. It has to be only the sounds of the synthesizer itself. You can't add any external processing, any effects, any treatment.
Until later.
You can
obviously.
do that after we've revealed the name of it, if you wanted, like what Daren's done. But while we're listening to it, we can't have anything external because we've got to give it its own chance, for us to recognise it. But if the synthesizer has internal effects, then you can use those because that's actually part of the character of that synth, is it not? So it can be any synth. It can be digital, it can be a Rompler, it could be analog, it could be from 1960 something all the way through to the latest and greatest. So the whole point is you're trying to trick us. Now, when you're doing the video, make sure that you do everything you can to make it as hard for us to recognize it. Like, just go out at all stops, blur it, unblur it, just show corners of it, but just give us a slight hint in the vision. And it doesn't have to be a video of you moving. It can just be still photos that you've done a slideshow of it or something. But the most important part is the audio.
The colour was getting me because I thought they might twig the colour because it's sort of, if you look at the studio, everything's going to be in my studio, and that colour sort of gives it away if you've seen it before. But
I knew what it was straight away too because I know what you've got there. But whoever wants to send one in are welcome to send one in. So yeah, go for your life. I do have one planned, was ready to fire. So if no one sends one in, I've got one ready to go, which I filmed during the week. And I do get people contacting me all through the week to put whether they should send me one. The answer will always be yes. If you should send me one, yes, please send me one. It's a good segment. If we get more than 2 or 3, we might do 2 or 3 in a row. Punch them out because some people have said I'd like to do more. So there you go. It is becoming a popular segment from what I've been told. So I'm enjoying it. So I'm quite a selfish person. So if you don't like it, bad luck.
Guys, I'm going to have to run.
No worries. We're gonna end up soon anyway.
Robbie. Good to see you, fella.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Take
on.
care.
And don't forget Bradford next Saturday. Come and see this.
Yeah, we'll see you in Bradford next Saturday, Robbie. Draw.
Go play with your Fairlight.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. We'll put the chatties in the corner while he's already disappeared. Beautiful. Nice to have Robbie on. For you guys who are wondering, Robbie, I'll just give his show a bit of a plug as well. Obviously, Robbie's got his own website called falmuso.com. Go check that out. But also, he's got the Pro Synth Network. He's got the YouTube show that's on every Friday. He's joined with Ben and Chris, the regulars, and there's also a whole bunch of really, really cool guests that they have on that. So if you're on my channel and you never ever see that channel, which I doubt very, very much, go check them out, Pro Synth Network. And also the Facebook page as well. I think the wife's just picking the dog out of my room. Because it's getting late here. Beautiful. Okay, so what have we done? We've done everything pretty much. We've reached the sort of end of the main show. What to do next? We've already we've been streaming for 2 hours and 20 something minutes. So yeah, because don't forget I'm streaming early now.
I guess I've just realised what I've just done. I guess that means that I'm only going to be available for about half an hour next week because I'll have to get to Bradford.
You will. We just don't.
Sorry,
I would just have a week off, mate. Just honestly,
well, I'm buggering off to Bradford to go and see Robbie and his Fairlight. Oh, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So anybody else, go and get your tickets for that next week, and I'll see you in Bradford.
Do a live vlog.
Do a live
vlog.
Yeah.
Hey, now if I could work out how to do it using my crappy phone, I would. Robbie on there, he'll show me, but he'll be busy. Well, we'll think about it.
Now, there is one more thing that I want to do with you guys before we go, and that is that. No, not that. I need to get the video ready. Sorry. What I want to do is I want to show Daren's video that he showed during the week because I think it's actually really, really good. So let's just get that lined up.
mine? Don't
Yep.
you mean?
Well, I shouldn't say it's yours, should I? Let's not say anything. Let's just get it up and running. Just give me a sec while I just fire this up. Warm the old computer.
Okay,
and,
well, while you're doing that, I will list some of the Foleys that we've had today. We've had a garage door opening. We've had a dog barking. We've had, and I think it was Andy's phone ringing. We've had some water effects, a car door shutting, a phone, like, you know, pinging for the SMM. Ranzee, what was you doing? I can't remember now. Oh, plugging in. So it must have been plugging in some cables earlier on. So we've had quite a lot. I think there's even more that we've missed.
Smorgasbord of effects and samples.
Yes. A full-on Foley show.
The Foley show. Right. Well, introduce this track, Daren. I'll go to you as the cam, and then I'll go to the track. So give us a little lead in. Introduce this track.
Okay, this is me catching Rave Dave remixing. Well, it's actually a rework because there's very little of the original left. It's basically just the vocals from a Pegboard Nerds track called Superstar, and Rave Dave got his hands on it, and that's what happened.
Right, here we go. There you go. Beautiful effort. Credit where credit's due. So I'd be high-fiving Dave right now if I could, but yeah.
If he was here, yeah, he was trying to take me decks out the other day. Decks, as in record decks, the other day, to do a set on his own. I had to bring him back in.
Yeah, see, Robbie actually enjoyed it too. See, look.
Oh yes, see, told he was raving.
That's what happens when you leave the video calls. It leaves the last frame, so you got to be careful what your last frame's going to be. It's like your last frame could be you picking your nose or something. That's it. That's going to stay there. I can actually change it so it blacks out. But yeah, no, that was good. That was really good. I thought it was definitely worth showing everyone because not everybody on the show knows about Daren's channel, even though it's been as almost a permanent link on this video descriptions every week. I link it in the chat just before. If you're wondering, and just scroll back a little bit, you'll see it there. Do go check out and click like and subscribe to his channel because he comes here every week and gives his love to you guys. So return it that way, please. It's definitely one of the best producers that I know. I enjoy his stuff, so I don't want to rub him up too much, but yeah.
Yep. Absolutely ditto.
Yeah, exactly.
It just amazes me. I know we say it week in, week out, but it just amazes me that Daren comes up with these absolutely cracking tunes. They're not always bang, bang, bang. They're all sorts of different production styles and stuff. It's just fantastic. And the videos that he puts together to go with them, I'm like, how does he do that? How can he do all that in a week? My mind boggles. My mind really boggles. Fabulous stuff, Daren. And I did ask you a question in the chat. How do you make those
that's the thing that causes me
quad lighting effects?
He doesn't have kids. That's how he can do it. You guys have got no idea how hard life is when you've got kids. You guys have it so easy.
Some of the videos I put last thing on Friday because the track's usually not finished for Sunday because it's very rare that I manage to get it. You know when you can put it in schedule a track to go out. It's very rare I get a chance to schedule it. I'm usually finishing it off Sunday morning if I've got the chance, and then trying to finish the video off to it. So it's
a tight schedule.
It's not always. Yeah, so I don't do it all the way through the week. I don't always get a chance. I mean, I have the idea for the track, and I might have started the track. I mean, I've got like lots of pre-started tracks as well as the albums that I'm doing and Rave Dave's album that I'm doing and trying to finish off the 21 album that's got to go out in a few weeks. And it's like, yeah, and then I have the YouTube tracks that I put out. So yeah, it's quite, sometimes it gets quite intense. That's why occasionally I don't get one out on a Sunday because I just haven't got a video for it. I might have the track, but I just haven't got the video. And now I seem to need a video with it every time. I don't feel like I want to put I don't feel like I want to put a blank screen up and just have the track playing. I feel like it needs a video.
But the fact that you're kind of forcing yourself to do it every week, that in its own right is kind of, it kind of gets you into a rhythm, I feel.
Yeah, I suppose it does. It can give you a bit of burnout sometimes. Sometimes it's like, I just, but most of the time, that's why I like to say that you never know what's going to come out each week. It can be like that, a sort of remake of a sort of drum and bass, even though the track was never originally drum and bass, or a sort of ambient, lush, mellow, chilled out, or a trancey one, or just whatever comes. It's always about the mood, I think, on the tracks that come out. So it depends on the mood when I'm making the track as to what it'll be when it comes out. So yeah, it's tight, but as long as you like it and you're all hit like and you're watching the video, that's fine. I'll keep doing them.
Oh.
When you stop watching
just
the video, then I won't rush to do one on a Sunday.
Just do it for me because I enjoy it. I wanted to show you, just before we wrap the show up, I just wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, in all of our rooms at the moment, is obviously Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, because that would kind of be happening this weekend, I guess. Do I have that right? We don't really have Thanksgiving here in Australia, so I don't really...
I think it's next Friday.
Is it next Friday? Okay. So,
yeah.
However,
I started them early anyway.
Yeah, however it pans, I noticed that they're already advertising them. My inbox is getting hammered with all of these specials. Now, do you guys remember a few weeks ago I was kind of having a big rant about Arturia and the what is it, V collection? So now I've managed to get the V collection on Black Friday sale for a lot less than what they were selling it for my offer, plus obviously cheaper for the offer that they had through that plug-in boutique company. So yeah, if you are interested in the the V collection, which is definitely worth getting, it was only $99 for me to get the upgrade, which I thought was a bit better spend in that sense, because you do get a couple of new synths in that. So so yeah, finally that sort of came good. It was a sort of little happy ending there. I don't know if they actually did that as a result of my video. I doubt very much, but that was just probably because more of the Black Friday sales. Let us know if you've got any kind of interesting Black Friday specials. I noticed Tom from Synth Anatomy posted something interesting during the week about the Clark Technics Bucket Brigade delay unit that Behringer have put out. The BBD 3, I think it is, or the Dimension 3. Sorry, I should say.
Dimension D chorus thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, obviously, if you're in the US, that's going to be beneficial to you because you can get that really, really cheap at the moment. It's something like, what is it, 50% discount on that, which is pretty decent. The BBD 320, as Daniel puts in chat. So yeah, if you do live in the US, that's a pretty decent thing to grab. And I also noticed there was a few Thomann ones that were quite good as well. So if you're living in the EU and you can benefit from Thomann, there's some good hardware.
Andy does what I do.
Yeah. So I can't. I'm the same, Andy. I cannot buy anything from Thomann. I don't know why, but for some weird reason, someone one day will explain this to me, because I'm sure either it's just them being complete difficult people to work with, or it's literally someone hasn't bothered to change a setting in their e-commerce system. But anytime you want to order something in Australia from Thomann, the shipping is absolutely humongously, ridiculously out of contention, and you just wouldn't even pay that for shipping. It's just stupid. Like, if say I wanted to buy a 6 HP Eurorack module, which would weigh next to nothing, I have to then pay something like 150 euros for shipping for it. It's just crazy. Like, it's just like you wouldn't even bother. Whereas I can buy something from like Gear for Music in the UK, completely other side of the world, and I might only pay £5 shipping, and that's through DHL, and I'll get it in 3 days.
Yep.
Do you get it? So for me, Thomann, if I know you don't love me, but if you do ever watch, sort out your shipping, and you'll get Australian people buying from you. Other than that, I don't know what the hell you're doing. If Gear for Music can do it, there's no rules to say that Germany have a good trade relationship with Australia, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So Thomann, sort your stuff out. I think Sweetwater have got the similar thing where they just won't ship to Australia. So if I have to buy something from Sweetwater, I have to do what they call drop ship it. So I have to ship it somewhere that will then forward it. It's a freight forwarding service, so I have to pay twice for shipping. So I very, very rarely buy anything from Sweetwater for that reason. I don't know about you guys in the UK. Can you get things from Sweetwater in the UK, or is it
I've never tried.
Yeah, you've never tried?
I've looked at their website, but I've never
tried
bought
Sweetwater. No, it's usually your Gear for Music, your Andersons, or something like that. I did do Thomann, but since this year, I mean, I don't know what it's like now. I don't know whether Andy's bought anything recently, but it's just a pain. They're only across the water, but it seems you think they were coming from the moon. It's just. So I've stopped buying from Thomann now.
An inordinately long time. It's all the problems with importing now into the UK is a pain. I mean, the companies that have already got the stuff here, it's easier. But we are. I mean, I won't say paying more, because the prices on Thomann look good. They're now including VAT in the prices, which makes things easier. But you still have to pay an import tax on top of it, which is like, oh, what? So I've decided now I'm not bothering with Thomann, until all of that sort of in and out of Britain and the EU is resolved, because at the moment it's just a pain in the bum.
It wasn't even that, Andy. It wasn't the fact that you're paying the import tax, because that's why I expected after Brexit to pay the import tax, and that was fine. That's when luckily I got the last of the kit to do the studio. Just as it happened, that's why it took a little bit longer. But I didn't mind paying that. It's the fact that it was stuck in Frankfurt for months on end, being scanned round and round, and not shipped back out of Frankfurt. And so I can't even say it got into this country and had problems.
See, for you guys, you had your free trade with the EU before you had Brexit. We've always had import tariffs, and in the last 5 years, we've had we pay an import duty, we pay an admin fee, we pay freight, and we pay GST, which is like your VAT, on anything that we buy that's over $1,000 our money, and our $1,000 our money is worth piddles overseas anyway. So to give you an idea, $1,000 our money is worth £500. It's not, you can't get a lot of synth stuff for £500 or less. Euro 8 modules, things like that. So if I wanted to buy like a Moog 1, for example, the only way I can buy one is locally through a retailer here or a wholesaler if I'm lucky. And it's humongous, middleman markups. There's probably 50 different people that it's gone through before it gets to me. So I won't even go there, but that's just life for us here. In the chat, I was just going to sort of point out, there's a few comments there. So Andy from Synth said he recently bought something from Thomann and he had to pay a whole bunch of import duties, and he lives in the US. So that's all happening worldwide. But I will mention this. So Australia, the US, and the UK, and I think a few other countries like New Zealand, Canada, have got free trade agreements at the moment. So, these countries should, move things between them. That's kind of, while it's there, because that's a good time to be sort of trading. And companies like Sweetwater aren't picking that up. I don't understand why. So, yeah. Paul mentioned that he's sad because he can't always utilize the seasonal sales because he has to save up till he can purchase something. Yeah, I kind of get like that as well. Sometimes you get the Black Friday sales and you run out of money and you go, oh, damn it. That does suck. I know how you feel. Max saying that if you ever buy anything from the European countries and you have to return it, it's an absolute pain. Yeah, I would imagine it would be.
Yeah, it is. You have to pay to import it in and then import it back again. You're paying double import taxes on things. It's just lunatic, really. You've already bought it. You've already paid your import tax. Why should you have to keep paying it again and again and again just because it's going backwards over? But I don't understand. The whole thing just confuses me. I wish they'd left it all alone, but no. Oh no.
Future World Machines is in Ireland. Is he? You're in Dublin, aren't you? I think so. Dublin is still part. The south part of Ireland is still part of the EU, aren't they? Yeah. So he would still be able to buy from Thomann, and they would have the benefits of being part of the EU. But he would have a nightmare buying from the UK, it just seems silly, because of Brexit. So that's a really good point
at the moment because of the status of Northern Ireland of Ulster, because that's part of the UK, or it is for now, and of course it's got a border with the Irish Republic, which means all sorts of now problems of moving things backwards and forwards. I just think it's anyway. Let's not go down that path anymore because it just
it does our heads in. It certainly does. Anyway, I thought we'd talk about Black Friday because otherwise someone will say, "Oh, you didn't talk about Black Friday." Well, we did. Like I said, if you do have any tips, chuck them into chat. Like if you've come across something really good, like I mentioned to you, the Arturia sort of fixed up their prices with the V collection. That's a good one. I did buy something else and I can't remember what it was. Usually for me, Black Friday is more Cyber Monday. I usually buy a lot of cyber stuff around this time of year because I find it to be quite inexpensive. If I can try and remember what it was definitely to do with the music. So, I'll see if I can remember before we finish the show. One of the things that I'm noticing now too is, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a really good video from Nick that came out about the M1 Mac during the week. Thoroughly recommend you guys go check that out if you're thinking about buying a Mac. He's done a good job in researching that. He's talked to people like me and lots of other people that have got Macs, and obviously he's got them himself. and he's put all that information into a big bowl of soup, and he's just presented it to you in a much more organised way.
Yeah, it's a good video.
I think what he does is he talks about the elephant in the room. He talks about the fact that there's still going to be issues with things running on Rosetta, which is the Intel chipset emulator that's in it, because it's now an ARM processor. You can't run things that aren't compiled natively on Intel anymore. So it has to go through an emulator, which is called Rosetta. So those things will be a bottleneck going into the future. But I feel that that will be a curve. And like he talks about that as well. Like I'm talking regularly about the fact that I'm beta testing for Ableton on the M1. And each time they bring a new release out, it's becoming more and more stable. It doesn't crash on me anymore, which it did at first when I first started beta testing. So it's looking good. And I'd say probably within the next 6 months, I'd say they'd probably release it. That would be my gut feeling. I don't know anything, they haven't told me, but I'd say that's probably where it's going to go. I think once your big DAW softwares start becoming native based platform, a lot more people feel more comfortable running their music studio on those. But what I find interesting is just some weird things. Like, for example, we now know that Adobe software is running on the ARM processors. So things like rendering videos, opening Photoshop, editing photos, all that sort of stuff is becoming really, really quick and powerful. But I've just noticed too that Apple have just released a whole bunch of new chips with their computers. So they've got these new Pro and Max chipsets that come out now, and with those, they are now increasing the amount of memory that's with it. So whereas at first we were kind of told you don't need as much memory because the way the aggregated memory works. So yeah, I'm just finding this sort of journey in the ARM world is kind of interesting. It's kind of venturing similar sort of paths to what Intel did, but we'll see how it goes. But if anyone in chat has got the new Pro or Max ones, let us know.
They've already got the die patents and everything for making the M2, M3 inversions. So it's been like quad M1 Pros together, as it were.
Yep.
So they're looking mental.
Yeah. I mean, look, even just with the M1, I mean, my Mac Mini here is an M1. It runs just so quiet, so quick compared to the Intel Mac that I had before.
Don't forget, at the moment, these M1 chips are all based on the A14 chip in the iPhone and stuff. So they're all mobile chips at the moment.
Yeah.
The things like the M2 and M3, if they progress, they're going to be more for the, well, I say desktop, but I think it's going to be like a mini cube, the desktop, when it eventually comes out, because they obviously can't just suddenly bin off their expensive Mac Pro that cost 32 grand when it's fully rammed. So I think they're going to be, I think that'll be coming out last.
I think
desktop version.
We kind of need to sort of think about, like, musicians have a different need to the majority of computer users in the world. I feel we're kind of in a sort of separate. We dabble with the same stuff everyone else does, but with the audio stuff, it's still very hardware centric. So, and if you actually see it, computers are kind of traveling to this new sort of cloud-based world where they don't really want us to have big, huge hard drives on anything anymore. They don't want the big storage. They want us to use their cloud services because that makes them money. At the same time, it's better for you because you don't lose your files, all that sort of, there's all benefits there, but not necessarily a good thing either, because, I do actually believe in managing my own files is much better than, paying for someone. But having said that, you can't get big storage-based machines in those small, Mac laptops or Mac Minis because they don't have mechanical hard drives in them. And so you're not going to be able to get a 5 terabyte, 6 terabyte machine, anything sort of cheap anyway, that's for sure, because they won't put mechanical drives in them. So there's that. And then the other problem you've got then on top of that is like what Daniel said and Chat Bagoo said, that this whole sort of spin hype about the memory or the RAM, I'm agreeing with him. I don't think we can never ever sort of believe the foob that it's really not needing as much memory, because graphics still has the same amount of pixels. files are still the same size, samples are still the same sample rate. Do you know what I mean? Those sort of things they are finite resources, and they'll have a certain impact on memory. No matter how you cook it, you can't make that, change.
Yeah, but doesn't it have dedicated? It has doesn't it have dedicated codecs as well? So that takes it off the memory, and doesn't it also data swap with the SSD in there?
So it can, and I think we all need to be careful of them sort of saying that it data swaps with, M.3 drives and things like that. That sort of stuff I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw it, because I don't think the throughput is quick enough to handle at the die level. So definitely memory, and definitely the way the CPU caches it, and the way the virtual GPU and those things cache it, because it's actually part of the CPU. So that would all work much more efficiently because it's basically all at the chip level, right? So there's no bottlenecks. That's why it works so efficiently. But there would also be a physical problem where in the past you've been able to increase RAM by adding it or putting a bigger chip in. You can't do that if it's soldered in to a motherboard.
You're going to be limited by that. Yeah, you're going to be. Well, also if your RAM goes down, then basically your computer's stuffed. On the M1 Mac type of thing, where
it's a throwaway.
You just get a new RAM stick. So that is the downside. I do agree with that. But hopefully they're going to be built like tanks, like usually Macs. Oh, I've probably said that now, and I'm going to end up.
They had some nasty ones, like this Mac here. It's an Intel Mac. I should unplug everything before I show you guys. This was the dreaded 2018 model, this one, which is the Intel one. And the whole underside of the belly of this, the battery just exploded, and the whole thing just went and bulged like a pregnant Mac. And we had to we got it repaired for free, thanks to Apple, but we were without a computer for, probably a good month or so. And that whole thing was a whole complete motherboard replacement inside the Mac. So that, that's not good because of bad design. And the reason why that is because they didn't fix up the power, power management in it. So the batteries were constantly powering the main board. And if you have some sort of electrical issue with the battery, it would literally just keep feeding the battery power, and the battery would just explode. Not to the point where you'd have an explosion in the room and people were dying. It was just like a little internal thing that was all contained, but it wasn't anything in major, but it just slowly sort of got fatter. And then the whole bottom of your Mac. Wow.
And a motorbike or car.
Some guy doing a burnout at the front of my place just there. What the hell?
That's the Foley.
Where was that? Was that outside yours, Ranzee, or outside yours?
Outside the front of mine, yeah. Yeah, wow. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent talking about apples, and we probably don't need to. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring the chatties in because I know they like talking about this stuff. A lot of musicians are Mac-based, Apple-based. So, if this stuff is hurting you and you think, your old apples are a pain in the ass, go to Windows. It's not that bad over there. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we're talking about how with Microsoft Surface, you've got a Surface touchscreen like an iPad, but it runs a full copy of Windows on it, so you can run any Windows application on it, and it's a touchscreen. And Apple haven't quite got there yet with their stuff. You can't, for example, I can't run Ableton on an iPad. Not yet. I know it's coming. They're saying it's coming.
I don't think it's that they've not got there. I think they just don't want to do it yet. They can quite easily do it with the way. It's not that they haven't got there. I just don't think they want to combine a touchscreen with a MacBook.
The Cubase app is pretty good though.
Keyboard.
So you guys, I think what's it called, Cubasis or something? The one that runs on the iPad. It's actually really, really good. So if you are an iPad-y sort of musician, which a lot of people are, I reckon that one's quite. It's not as good as a desktop version, of course, but I think it's actually quite a good thing. But yeah, Surfaces are actually really good. I'm actually quite happy with the way Surfaces run. So my son used Surfaces all the way through his senior school. He's just finished his final year now, and he had with 2 different Surfaces through that period. and he's literally just had his IT department of his school just refurbished it and deleted all the school software off, and now it's just back to the factory reset. So he's now got himself a Surface. I don't know. I think Microsoft do a good job with it. I know some people don't like Surfaces, but I do. I think they're good. I think Robbie, sorry, not Robbie.
I think what works
Robin
for you,
Vincent's,
a bit like music, what works for you works.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. All right, we should have a show where we talk about computers. I reckon it'd be a good one because it's the thing that everything's running on that hooks us all together, isn't it? And Andy's just recently bought a new computer. He runs Windows.
It's not a super bells and whistles one, but it's a million times better than what I had. And yeah, and getting more into the computer side of things. Running. I mean, okay, I sort of ditched Cubase and downloaded Cakewalk, and I'm actually really quite amazed how much easier Cakewalk is and how flexible it is when on the occasions when I actually switch it on and do something with it. I've actually been quite impressed. I'm not sure I need it, but loads of other all singing, all dancing things. That works quite happily for me.
Yeah,
and
Cakewalk's
because
good.
all I'm intending to do is really just use it as a multi-track recorder. I've even come to the decision I'm not bothered about using it as a MIDI thing. I'm, here. This is where it's all going, and then have a clock coming out. And
Is
and
Modulus
use
taking his life over like we said it would?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, well, yeah. So all these different ideas just keep going in my head. Well, anyway, I won't go on and on about all of that because it's all still pretty much in bits. So, but it's coming together bit by bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably it for the week. Thanks, Daren, for the Rave Dave stuff. That's been awesome. So make sure you thank him for it. Thanks, Andy, for your contribution. So we won't see you next week. We'll replace you with someone else, hopefully.
Well, I might jump in. I mean, if this thing's starting at 4:30, it takes me about an hour to get to Bradford. Obviously finding sort of parking and stuff. We'll see. I'll have an investigate about sort of whether I can do the sort of joining on my phone sort of thing. I've never ever done anything like that with my phone. I don't even know if it's even up to the task.
It's going to be hard. Yeah, it'll be hard.
Yeah. Well,
it
may just be easy to say.
You saw Robbie in his garage, and that was
and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So what you've got set up there, it's never going to be as good as that. That's kind of it's going to be down from there basically. Yeah. All right, guys. We will say goodbye to everyone.
I'll take some nice pickies and share them. So.
Oh, please do.
Yep.
Say goodbye. See you later, everyone.
Right,
Thanks, chatties. And we'll see you all next week.
Everybody take care.
Toodaloo.